Who wants to be in America's slash fic with Abraham Lincoln?
Louisiana Purchase, that's a name.
You need to really get off my balls, okay? I'm gonna kick your ass.
Also, why was Michelangelo so stinky? Ew.
This is a non-canon filed edition of All You Can Hear podcast. I'll be your host today, Patrick, and joining me today are my three cackling co-hosts.
Chainsaw Colt.
It's JoJo, and I'm the shit and pants devil.
It's Wenzel at night.
What?
Or Wenzel by night, sorry.
Okay. Oh, we're doing a recurring bit there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Halloween, or it's Halloween season. Spooky.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! It's also the 1,000-year Pat.
I bet that looks good on the audio, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We'll just go through the sound bank and put in real chainsaw noises.
Yeah.
So
You can do that.
yeah, we have the power.
We have
Asshole.
we have the technology.
You don't think our chainsaw sounds are good enough for you?
We'll
Do one right now, Colt. Go.
Rum.
Watch me.
Open this fucking poodle.
You're just making yourself laugh.
I mean, that's just Wenzel. So this isn't random noise episode of Non-Canon
yet.
Files, but this is the long-awaited return of the AYCH's seasonal anime review. Thank you all for being so patient, because it's been a little difficult to get to everything this year, but we did manage to set aside some time for a very packed, very stuffed anime season, and that's fall 2022. Probably go down on record one of our most anticipated anime seasons.
I'm going to go ahead and say this is the best anime season we've ever had.
Yeah.
The reason why we haven't really been doing any this past year is because every season's got like one or two good animes and the rest are like mid as fuck.
They're not enough to really
Yeah.
enough to dictate an episode, and we don't really want to cover.
We'll hit those at some point in the future.
At some point, yeah.
But this season, as soon as I saw like all these huge names in it, I said, we've got to do
We
an
gotta
episode.
fucking do it.
So there won't be any more further delay. We have 7 series that we'll be discussing today. Of
No
course,
spoilers.
Well, there will be.
there will be a varying degree of spoilers throughout the episode. Just know that going in case by some chance you haven't seen some of the shows that we discussed on today's episode. But what we'll be looking at today, we have Cyberpunk Edgerunners, we have Pop Team Epic, we have My Hero Academia,
Season 6.
Season 6. We also have Bleach. We have Mob Psycho 100 Season 3. We have Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury, and lastly we have Chainsaw Man.
Yep.
Rum.
And of course, there's still several other very high quality series that are also out this month and this season, but like we only have so much time to, as much as we like to get to those, we wanted to pick a nice tight bunch to discuss. And we normally only do debuting series, but this season we're making exceptions because the quality was just so high, and some of these returning series are just too big not to discuss.
Yep.
And plus, with My Hero, I feel like we've discussed every single time it's come back.
More or less.
I mean, it's a staple, for me anyway.
That's-
We're going to keep going until it's over.
Yeah, we are.
And if Vigilantes gets an anime, we'll do it there too.
Yeah.
So we're going to start our discussion off today with one that debuted probably the earliest in the season, and that's Cyberpunk Edgerunners.
Edge running, and it's not about edging.
It's about being edgy.
No, it's not about jerking off and not coming.
It's about it. Yeah.
Just shut it right
Why's
now.
everybody so quiet? I'm just telling you what it's not about.
You play as a punk edging fuckers.
You know what? That's the closest you've got it.
You know what? We don't have to do a recap.
Yeah.
Wenzel got it. Nailed it on the head.
Yep.
No, but this is an original series set in the broader universe of the Cyberpunk games, and basically it's about a very impoverished young man trying to make his way in the towering cyberpunk city.
Night City.
That's what
it's called.
And just basically dealing with the struggles of extreme poverty in the far future, grappling with technology as it sort of dictates all of their lives, and basically just this growing conspiracy around a very important piece of technology. Let's get it started. I will defer a little bit to Colt Wenzel as they actually played the Cyberpunk game in some capacity. So we'll hear more like how this compares to the game. Obviously, this is still an original series, but with some bleed through from the game into this new series. But first impressions, as someone who's never played the game, only seen the tales, I fucking loved it. It was such a stylish, bombastic first episode.
Absolutely. Yep.
I fucking loved the first episode. As soon as I watched it, like 3-4 weeks ago, I watched the whole series in one go.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic series, but for episode 1, hooked me, kept me, and held me like a baby.
Cyber baby.
Like the music and the animation. It's Trigger at its best. In my opinion, this is my favorite Trigger work, and they really went all out here. Cyberpunk put their money to good right here. Not Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red.
Yeah. This is such a weird anomaly because, like, Cyberpunk, when it came out, I mean, a disaster. Like, let's be real.
The thing is with Cyberpunk, the game is...
it's
not a bad game at its core. It's just that they fucked up by releasing it broken as fuck.
Broken and crunch times and all that stuff. Because it's a good game, good story, beautiful. Like, it's a good, like, so much handled poorly. But now it's like... They've been releasing updates. They finally have it polished, and then Cyberpunk Edgerunners helped it, like, shot it up,
like days over days. Like when this anime first dropped, it was popping off. It was #1 on Steam for like I want to say 2-3 weeks.
Yep, it was insane, and like for good reason because again, Cyberpunk's a good game, and Edgerunners kind of like explores more of that world and. I watching it, I was like, "Fuck, this is Cyberpunk, man!" And like, it made me re-download the game. It was so good.
As soon as episode 2 was over, I was like, "Fuck, downloading it right now." I had to delete some games so I could make.
No,
room.
exactly. It was literally episode 2. I was like, I have to re-download it, and I had to delete some games because I was like, "Fuck, man!" Because it's so. It makes me want to get back into being like first person in the world itself.
I want to see my chooms. I want to. Just beat the fuck out of people on the street.
Yeah, I want to do some absolutely just crazy shit.
I want to brain dance, getting my shit fucked up, and I have my character ridden by a fleshlight like crazy.
I'm
referencing the anime because there's a scene in the anime where this dude's in broad daylight with a fleshlight going to town on his dong, and he's like, "Oh!"
I don't think any of those are in the game, are they?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
That was Trigger having fun.
Yeah. What'd you think, JoJo?
I really enjoyed it. I really loved the style. Everything's very vibrant and pretty. Very, very depressing and feels very much not that far removed from our reality. Obviously, the technology, but more so the
Orwellian
the Orwellian amounts of medical debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Which is a very common theme in a lot of the stuff that we watched.
I will say, like, because when you play Cyberpunk, it's definitely not the happiest city or game or anything.
Oh no, it's completely dark and violent.
And that's always with Cyberpunk. It's always dark, but you have all these bright colors. I think that kind of like gets people into a false sense of security. Like, no, like this shit is fucking dystopian. It's sad. And watching this show, I was like, fuck, Cyberpunk's really fucking sad because it was bumming me out. But at the same time, I'm like, I need to watch more. I had to cut myself off after episode 2 because I had shit to do. But Jesus.
I mean, and that's just sort of the hallmark of not just like the game, but just the genre of Cyberpunk. You have like the glitz and the glamour of like this beautiful stratified, futuristic city, but then like you just see just the crushing, like, throes of society where, like, oh, people just live in absolute squalor and, like, the most technologically advanced, like, human settlement, but then, like, everybody's just scraping by. Literally, like, because everybody is in some part, like, has, like, some little cybernetic, like, accessory or implant.
Yeah.
And, like, having to get updates to exist in society, it's just, like, that's, like, already really fucked up to think about. And then, like, oh, you don't have your rent, you can't get in your apartment.
Yeah.
And just, like, fuck, it's just, like, wow, this is uncomfortably close to what reality it can very realistically become.
And-
It's just one thing about this that I really enjoy and think is just interesting is the rich people, like the 1%, the super powerful people in this universe. You see a little glimpse of it. They're going through life super happy, super good, but they also converse with the normal people, the super poor. Because, like, you'll just see people walking down the street as, like, dudes are jacking off or pissing and throwing up. I just thought that was something that was very cool to see, even though that's not really good.
Yeah, because our story follows specifically David Martinez. He's a street kid, and he goes to Arasaka Academy, which Arasaka is, like, the biggest corporation in the fucking world. And the fact that he's going to a school is, like, that says a lot about him and then about, like, society as well. And I was gonna say, like, some things that interest me is, like, so, like, Trauma Team and Max Tack are, like, two really interesting, like, I wouldn't say factions, but they're, like, groups or whatever. Because, like, Trauma Team, it's basically they combined military or soldiers and security and paramedics into one, so that whenever it has to be a client, it has to be a policy holder. If they're in, like, a really, really bad accident, Trauma Team will be there. Literally, like, 4 soldiers come out, equipped, ready, very tight group. Get them in there, get out. Everybody else, just a regular city meat wagon.
And then Max Tack is essentially military.
Yeah.
They will come down, most powerful weapons.
Yeah, if the police cannot handle cyber psychos or like, really hard, like, cybernetics, then they send in Max Tack. And Max Tack is, like,
Top of the line.
Like, you're, like, it does a good job of showing in the show too, of, like, these guys are, like, almost impossible to kill.
Yeah, because they were talking about, like, their ice is stronger. They don't have to worry about the cyber psycho fucking with them.
Yep. It's like anytime, like, in the game, like, Max Tack, when they're called, it's like, fuck. It's like the scariest fucking thing.
It is. It's like end of the world Terminator shit.
It's crazy. And then Trauma Team, they're just a bunch of fucking dicks.
Yeah, you don't have the platinum package. Oh shit! Bye.
Wow.
The meat wagon's gonna get you.
Like, I was literally playing through the tutorial prologue kind of thing where you have to go rescue that girl in the game, and whenever you get her out, she's a policy holder. So Trauma Team was on there, like, it was like 180 seconds or something, and you bring her out, and they're like, place the person down on the ground, step the fuck back, like, literally just place her on the ground. Trauma Team just pushes you, and they're like, guns trained on you, like, stay the fuck back. Like, they're they're a bunch of fucking dicks.
There's some really, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there's some really cool things with the fuck. Why am I always fucking forgetting the names? Not Max Tack.
Trauma Team?
Trauma Team. There we go. Man, my brain's going.
And I talk about them because, like, when you see them in their vehicles and stuff, their outfits, their designs, they look really cool. But, like, man, just a bunch of blue douchebags, basically cops.
Yeah, there's a scene later that it's like, shit, man, these guys are fucked up.
Fuck, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Sorry.
No, like, I mean, they kind of like feeds, like, the world, because obviously this is based off game. But, like, you're not lost watching the first episode if you've never played a second of the game.
Yeah.
But obviously, you have the extra, like, layer for if you have.
Yeah, I would say, like, because I see where people will talk about, like, will get confused about the first part because they'll be like, was that just a simulation? Like, no, that like legit happened. When they say BD, that's a brain dance. You know, it's just a memory taken of somebody who died and you're reliving it. Or it doesn't have to be somebody who died. It can literally just be a recording of somebody's memory.
Yeah, it's like in the in-game universe, like they talk about like super fucked up black market BDs. That's what the one you saw at the very beginning of the Cyber Psycho Rampage. They'll be like puppy stomping, kitten crushing.
Yeah, there's like
rape, murder. They're like, what do you want? I got it. You can't watch those, but those are like people you hunt down. Type shit. You don't want that.
Yeah.
You don't want stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay?
No, when you do hunt down the people though that sell that shit, it's so fucking satisfying.
Because like talk about the brain edge, because you see like this, the intro to the show goes to 150 miles per hour. Because you have like this sort of like police setting, like all the cops are hanging out, and then you see like this just fucking like a 1980s action hero looking guy with like mechanical eyes and limbs, and he's just like, "What the fuck you looking at?" And the cop says, and then boom, blows his head off.
Tarantino blood gushing.
For real.
And then it's just like 5 minutes of this cyber dude, the cyber psycho, as we find out, who just annihilates all of these like
tearing into people like they're butter.
For real, like the thigh mantis blade that he has, I didn't know like that could ever be implemented, but I was like, why the fuck not? I guess.
Like he slaps into the blade, shoots out, cuts this cop in half. The two halves land on either end of the car. He hits like fucking bullet time, plugs into the matrix. It's going so fast that the cops can't see him. He's literally just pop, 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 pop in the back of the head.
It's so good. And the thing is, you can do that in the game too. You can get that specific upgrade, and you literally like it increases your reflexes so that you're faster than fucking everybody. It's insane.
And so like he's just causing utter pandemonium, and that's when the super like cybernetic SEAL Team 6 comes in and just cut him out.
Yep.
It's like without any effort, because like, you know, obviously this dude has some high level tech, but then like, you know, you have the super big wigs and the Black Hawk copter, and then just like, you know what, enough fooling around, shut him down.
Yep.
And it's after this guy's death, it's sort of like the remnants of that night, sort of like what helps like snowball the plot.
Yeah.
Because David's mother works as part of the paramedic team, and as you find out later, she has like the remnants of that cyber psycho's like
spine
essentially, like his remnants. But before we get to that, it's just the daily life and struggles of David in the super cyber city, how he goes to school, and because his mother is sort of like working herself to bone just to get him in the door. He's kind of having to go the back alley way to finance school for himself, which means like, oh, there's a new upgrade you have to, you know, to get to be compatible with the school's tech. It's like, but he goes to like some
Ripper Doc,
some like back alley black market doc. It's like, oh yeah, this upgrade's just as good. Short circuits the entire school,
and end up having to pay like 10 times more just to repair it, which by the way, Ripper Docs are the guys who put in your implants and stuff. That's why he calls them Doc, but they're
like, you know, back seedy, like everything is seedy, but he's like the seedy back alley docs. And his mom is like, David, you can't doing this. I'm working myself to the bone to help you out. You have a lot of potential. If you get if you're able to go through the school, you have a much better chance in life than I could ever give you, or I could ever have for myself. And it's like this really touching moment, just like how like sincere and realistic that is, how like parents just like work themselves to death to help their kid, just for the possibility of a better life.
And then all that's ripped away.
And just like in the most like heartbreaking fashion, just like, literally this moment between the mother and her son is cut short by like gang warfare, essentially.
Like as soon as I saw those cars pull up to either window, I was like, "Don't."
This is bad. Exactly.
I don't like this.
This is a fucking crossfire waiting to happen.
I saw them. I was like, "No, god damn it, no!" And then, sure enough, like these two like rival like cyber gangs just like unload at each other, and their car is just caught in the middle, and so they end up crashing, pandemonium, and then like literally Dave and his mom are just like flung out, tangled in their car, thrown out in the street, and then the paramedics, they arrive and they're just like, wait, they're not a policyholder. Bye, bitch.
Yeah.
And they're literally just bleeding out in the street.
It's so fucked up. Oh gosh, yeah. That moment between mother and son, I was like, that's how, if you're a parent, that's how you should be like, look, I worked really hard. I'm sorry, but it's it's to make sure you get a better life because I know you're so good. Then the fucking parents guilt tripping you, being like, well, I worked my ass off, so blah blah blah. Like, no, that's how you fucking do it.
I mean, I'm sure somebody said that's still guilt trip, but like that's just putting into a realistic perspective what this is.
I guess it explains it better. It's like her like being truthful and like, well, I've been busting my ass to help you. Like literally, like this is for you to have a better life. And it is true. Like if you're fucking corpo or shit, like so much better. But goddamn, fucked up.
And then like he's able to like at least stabilize his mother's condition by going to that seedy back alley doc that he knows. But he's still like. But it's still you get like just how just bleak and hopeless the world is. It's like, oh yeah, even though this is like an unlicensed doctor, you still have to pay out the ass for this and that, and he gets just like all this, and he's just trying to make it through. He has to break into his own house because they're late in their rent. It's just like, fuck, that's dystopian and like could possibly happen. So he tries to go back to school the next day, but then. The rich kids, the school bullies are just like, hey, kid, fuck you because you're poor. And then Bruce Lee Kung Fu upgrades and just whips his ass and like the garbage and shit.
Yeah.
I love the way he kicked his ass.
I was going to say, because like whenever he's punching in front of him, it's like, damn, this guy.
You're outmatched. Just go.
It's like
Leave.
he knows exactly what he's doing. He has complete muscle control and it's fucking stupid. Like, Jesus.
And then there's just another heartbreak in the episodes. Like he gets his ass whooped, gets smashed in the trash, and he goes back to the doctor to check on his mom, and he's like, "Hey, your mom's about to die, kid." So
no,
she died
on the phone. He's like, "Hey, your mom was doing well. She's dead now.
Yeah.
Come get her shit."
And then it's like a really like. The dialogue right there is like, I thought you said she was stable. And he's like, well, I mean, not really. Like, when you have this kind of insurance, she was already weak anyway, so she was going to die. It's like, what the fuck?
Like, if you want better experience, you should have had better insurance.
Yeah, you should have been a corpo, man. And then he has to buy payment plans for her funerary services, which the cheapest one obviously is to cremate and basically get her urn like a fucking soda can.
Yeah, like there's like a vending machine like cremator just like plonks out her urn like as a can. And
here's your mom.
Yep.
And meanwhile, it's just playing over these messages of like, oh, here's the payment plan for the cremation. Here's the school calling back. They're like, oh, this is all the money that you owe for us having to reboot our systems. Here's the landlord calling you for like, if you don't pay your money, you're gonna get.
And then here's the bully like, yeah, your mom sucked dick. Too bad she's dead.
Yeah, she couldn't have been that good if she fucking died in a car accident. Like, Jesus! Like, this guy, this kid needs to fucking die.
Yeah.
Like, God, man. It's so fucked up because, like, it's so insane because it's like you have to pay for laundry, you have to pay for rent, you have to pay for other utilities, you have to pay for insurance, you have to pay for funerary services, you have to pay to go to school, you have to pay for repairs, you have like
everything's a subscription
there's
service.
and it's just like, this isn't too fucking far off and it pisses me off already.
Yeah,
it's like basically like there's nothing that you can personally own in the world. Like everything is like rented and it can be taken away at a moment's notice. It was like fuck, that's scary.
Yeah.
And so obviously David is just like almost catatonic. It's just like, how hopeless can this get? Wow, stealing a canon bit. But he has like one ace in the hole he kind of figures out because he realizes that the piece of tech that his mom recovered on the crime scene is like high-end military grade like cybernetics, and it's like, hey, if I could sell this, I could get money. But then like at this point, money is not the issue. The world, it's too fucked up, and he can't possibly reimburse all of these services. He's not like, fuck it, I'm just gonna fuck up. Put this shit in me.
Yep, and that's how it ends. The Ripper dog, fucking dude's watching a fucking brain dance of somebody else getting absolutely fucking fucked.
It's like some
And
like
he had his own fleshlight.
And he had his
machine.
own fleshlight too. He's like, ah,
like he has this VR of like these three like cyber hookers just like riding his dick. It just it's just like the perversity of the future is just like unmatched.
Yep. So that's the first.
That's first episode,
That's first
man.
episode.
It had me hooked.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. I'm just saying.
Yep.
I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna watch it all.
You fucker already did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it a chance. Play the game too. I
hear it's good now.
Is it good now?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It was good at the start, but the glitches made it bad. Like, I couldn't beat the game because the glitches were that bad.
I will
but
say-
now they're not there
I will say
to that extent.
PS4 and Xbox PS4.
Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah. I wouldn't play them.
No,
They just gave up on that.
just don't even
Kind
try.
of, yeah.
I
mean,
figured they would.
If you have a PS5 or a Xbox Series X, buy the last gen version so you can get a free upgrade.
Yeah, you'll get a free upgrade and they'll continuously add updates and stuff. But like PS4 and Xbox One, they were just like, we got it to satisfactory. We're done. We're not gonna do anything else.
Yeah.
That's what they said actually. Like,
Wow. a little sad. But hey, this episode for Cyberpunk, it was sad, but it's still really fucking awesome. So a very strong recommendation from us.
Yeah, I'm thinking about finishing this. This is really sick. Also,
Yeah.
capitalism is a death cult.
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think everyone here would love it. It's only 10 episodes, very
Yeah.
short, and I watched it in an afternoon.
Oh yeah, because we didn't just talk about the fucking first episode how we all loved it. Yeah, we all might like this show.
Well, you don't know if you'll like the cat stomping scene. That's not a thing.
But that was in Animatrix, though.
Was it?
Was it?
Yeah, or there's a point where when a robot's killing a dude and he's like flinging his cats against the wall and go.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Damn, that's almost like JoJo. Not
What
JoJo.
the fuck?
What the fuck?
What have you
JoJo's
been
Bizarre
doing?
Adventure, where
Oh, with the dogs.
Yeah.
dogs for some fucking reason, Iraqi bitch.
Yeah, that's his thing. He loves killing dogs.
Anyway,
Yeah,
go on Netflix, but also fuck Netflix.
Hey, we're all borrowing someone's Netflix, so find one of your friends, get your login, and watch Cyberpunk.
Yep.
It's pretty rad. All right, moving on to our second series is actually the second season of this series. It's the return of Pop Team Epic.
Puppet Team Epic.
Papu.
Papu.
That was me doing Bob Team Epic.
Yeah.
Pop Team Epic. And we covered Pop Team Epic when it first came out, 2018,
28 years ago.
Yeah, 28 years ago.
which it feels like a long time ago. But like it's more of just these rapid fire bits and skits that you love from the first season, but with like a hell of a lot more of a budget.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got that budget here.
Because I just fucking love the bit of the first episode of this new season. It's straight up like a opening for a tokusatsu series. Like they nailed that so well.
Endless Love. That's what it's called.
And it's just this segment is just us talking about the bits. Like
Yeah, I mean, that's what the show is.
that's
It's
what
bits.
the show is. It's just bits.
it's just like an animated sketch show, honestly.
yeah. I mean, and that's how it started out. It was just a bunch of little comics.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
4-panel comics.
Yep.
And like the first 10, 12 minutes of this show is the female cast voicing Pipimi and Papuko.
Yep.
And then the second half is the male voices.
Yep.
And like there's like some very minor differences in dialogue between the two versions. So like if you have like one flavor of the show you can enjoy, you're just like watching the whole damn thing like we did.
Yeah.
They'll definitely catch like some of the little variances throughout. And like this episode's a hoot. Like it was a really funny first episode.
Yeah. If I had to pick a favorite bit, it's the Chocobo bit. because like they got that Square Enix money involved, and they just had like after the found footage bit was over, they just had a little dance party.
Yep.
Which, like, how the first bit opens up kind of like Blair Witch, just like grainy video footage of them walking the woods, and Chocobo attacked, and then they just do the little Chocobo dance.
And then there's a little jump scare at the end with them just zooms in. Woo!
I mean, the first one of 2 jump scares on the episode.
Oh yeah, the Bob Team Epic. I love the Bob Team Epic because they
Bob
make
Team Epic.
the fucking. It just looks rancid, like crazy as fucking. I love it because its style is like it's still art and it's still fucking awesome,
And it makes me feel disgusted.
It feels it fucking makes me feel
It's like
disgusting.
it's kind of like they just went like full like Adult Swim with it, just like
Yeah.
just like the grodiest, ugliest version of the characters, and like they have like the little stylized cat mouth and like the regular Peeping and Papuku, but then just like their mouths look like nutsack.
I was about to say the mouth looks like their gums are sticking out, and it's just like no teeth, and their voices are a little different. Yeah, you know, like that. And honestly, I don't even remember what it was about. It was something
It was like, let me tell your fortune for today.
and then look at this stained glass, and then immediately Papuko comes out. It's like, oh,
Acorn.
oh, acorn. It's like, that's your fortune. I got scared when I first saw that. It actually scared me. I didn't expect it. So yeah, I would say my favorite bit besides that would be like the first one where they're dancing and they're like, what's the thing that makes you unique? I love it.
And so, like, basically, Papaco's trying to show off this, like, special trick you can do. That gets increasingly more bizarre, but Peeping can do the exact same trick. Just like, well, if you can do all the things I do, what makes me special? Then, like, let's find out. And it's like this grand musical number.
It's so fucking good, especially when like they're dancing and then like, now your turn, and then like, I'm sorry, my friend's feet don't have any flair.
Like,
They're
like
the
literally,
doctor.
Peeping has like this like tap dance sequence, and she's like, your turn, and she does the exact same.
It sounds like somebody dancing on a tin roof.
Like, it's not even the same sound, and just like at the doctor, it's like she has a serious medical condition.
And then at the very end, Papago finally figures it out. They can wink with both eyes.
And then literally Peeping just has like a stunned like blank. You got it, girl.
You got
you
it.
figured it out.
Scissors.
Yeah, the male version, it just said scissors.
When they do
'cause
the peace sign. Which now I'm going to do that for fucking ever. Scissors. No peace. Scissors.
Well, no, it has to be within the AYCH canon. You had to say bunny fingers.
Oh,
Eto, bleh.
V for Vendetta.
What is this?
Anyway, also I really like B-sides because they bring back the classic bit, like
Nah, nah,
nah nah.
nah, nah.
Where Papaco, the shorter of the two, is like punching Peeping in the stomach, and it's like,
Are you mad?
No.
but in this version, they're like drawn like girl yaoi characters, lesbian yaoi.
Yeah, and
No, they're boys, aren't they?
I mean they're wearing boy uniforms.
Yeah.
But
I thought
They
that was
just look like detailed anime versions
Yeah.
of themselves.
Yeah, I thought it was like a boys' love parody.
Which I like, you know, I can't remember because we talked about like that bit being like us, but I can't remember which one we said was like.
You're the punching one.
Okay,
I was about to say,
that-
Wenzel's definitely Papuko.
okay. I was gonna say I was like I could have sworn I was Papuko because
Because like it's
are
like
you mad?
Papuko's like the more like, I guess, like manic and more like energetic character, and Peeping is definitely like the more like restrained and like demure character.
She's still insane.
I mean,
though.
obviously, but she's definitely like. You have to have like the balance of the two, and she's the more reined in,
Yeah.
heavier.
Because like, you know, obviously like Papuko will flip people off, and I do that too. And then whenever Papuko's like, "You're all shit, absolute shit," that is also me.
and then Peeping Me's like one that's a pause. And so like obviously between Colt Wenzel's Papuko and Colt is Peeping Me.
Yep. Yep.
And like any other bits, Joe? You have a favorite bit?
I mean, honestly, it's just all the ones that you've said.
Yeah. Fun time.
Some good bits.
Although, you know, I kind of want to see Joe like cosplay as Peeping Me.
We're very good.
Hey, that's a great bit. Since there's 4 of us, and we have a similar dynamic. It's like I could be Papuko of me and Joe be peeping me.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
I mean, besides Colt has the long hair.
Oh yeah.
And then I could put mine in the double.
Oh fuck, you could.
Yeah, double
Shit.
pigtails.
we have 2 sets of Papuko and peeping me.
Yep. Hell yeah.
That'd be a good bit.
See, we do a live action version of AYCH Pop Team Epic, but then you 2 do it first, and then we do the exact same show with Joe and me.
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
That's actually kind of fun.
TM. Write that down.
TM.
Well, I think that's kind of short and
That's
sweet.
Pop Team Epic.
Yeah, it's
I mean, it's like 15 minutes one way or the other, or both together. It's half an hour. But hey, a lot of fun, a lot of great bits. Can't wait to get back on the Pop Team train. Had a great time with it. And moving on to our next one,
My Hero Academia.
My Hero.
Deku.
We will do it. All Might, #1 hero.
You damn nerd.
What?
Yeah, we accidentally watched the dub for this season. Fuck. So this is the 6th season premiere Pop Team Epic. No, My Hero Academia. Now I will defer to Colton Winslow to sort of get us up to speed on that, because since neither Joe and myself are completely caught up with My Hero, we'll sort of let them discuss what happens in this season opener.
I was about to say, like, how are we gonna? Because
I can start it off.
I don't like that look. You just
God damn it! Why'd you have to fucking make me laugh? So it starts off with Mirko oiling up. So she starts shaking ass. No, she doesn't. I don't have a way to start.
I don't know.
I had a bit, but you made me laugh. Fucking.
I mean, because like, spoilers obviously, but like, I don't know what to say.
We're not gonna say too much
because like it takes place. So they're starting a new arc, literally right off the ground running.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the War Arc, and there's a war between the heroes and the villains. And if you know anything about that in last season, it's a pretty. This is probably going to be their longest.
This is the
longest arc. I think
this is the highest moment before the biggest moment.
Yeah. So like this is two major moments. This is one of them. And we see.
Well, obviously, dancing around spoilers, I guess, as you can, but also we still have to discuss this bit. So, like, you're not really going to, like, hurt too many feelings, but just so, like, or you can just keep it simple as to say what were your impressions of the episodes, like, favorite, like, points that had happened.
Mirko.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
And for all the listeners out, in case you don't know, Mirko is one of the professional heroes in the
one of the top professional fucking heroes in My Hero Academia.
With the strongest thighs.
Because
everything.
she's a she's a very muscle bound, very physical, very attractive to some out there.
A very beautiful, fucking gorgeous woman.
Who's also has her superhuman ability is that she's very rabbit-like in her appearance. She has rabbit ears and a little rabbit tail and rabbit paws.
Her quirk is rabbit. It's where she can do what a rabbit does, but better. Like her ears, her tail, everything. That's
her legs are insanely strong.
Yeah, those are literally all part of her body. Her legs are like, obviously that's like the highlight of her power is her legs. And you really see that in episode 1 and 2. Because I went ahead and watched episode 2 because Mirko is my fucking favorite hero. And that's where you really, literally the second episode is called Mirko, the number 5 hero, I think. Mm-hmm. And that it's really about the start of this infiltration, her fighting. You also, something I never fucking imagined, this isn't really a spoiler for anything, but like, when it's not in the manga, but when she activates her quirk, technically her quirk's active all the time, but
because like she's just humanoid rabbit.
Yeah, she's like when she like goes out, her thigh muscles like
they bulge
out. It's like, really, I did not expect that.
This is like the animators
developed.
putting in that kink. They're like, this is for you. We know what this is.
I will say, like, everybody, and it's so funny because like I'm seeing the anime onlys. They're like, God damn. And I'm like, yeah.
Meanwhile, us manga onlys are like, I'm not going to do anything. Manga onlys know what we're like.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the manga readers, you know.
Because, like, god damn.
Because, like, just from like my casual viewing of like where I'm not caught up to is like obviously Mercury's just like she's a really cool character, but also people are really fucking horny for her. So, but I'm curious to see like
Because she's hot.
No way.
whoa. But I'm really curious to see how this developed because like I know approximate things that happen in this particular portion of the series, and like the heroes versus villain arc. But hers like it's got some of like the craziest stuff in the series up to a point because I know after this is when it really hits a peak when like they're just like balls to the wall. We're not pulling any punches.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So I definitely think this is definitely like building like this is building to like a crescendo. Like this will what will push us to like what's essentially toward like the I wouldn't say maybe necessarily in game. But like it's definitely this is when the stuff really gets serious.
Yeah.
Like the kids are like really to that. Not I mean obviously every season like crazy bullshit they have to deal with, but this is like up to this point the most serious situations they probably dealt with.
Let's just say the fun like class learning stuff that you're used to from the first 5 class training seasons. It's not going to be as much happening anymore.
Like, go ahead and take that notion out of your head because it's just straight up brutality. And it really starts off really well with Mirko, and it just goes from there. It's crazy.
If I had to pick a favorite thing from this episode, it easily goes to my boy Johnny and his little Jordans.
Oh my god!
Like this isn't a huge spoiler because
Rest in peace, Johnny.
Johnny is there for like 5 seconds of screen time. He's a little head. Can you look up Johnny real quick on your phone?
Johnny Nomu.
Johnny Nomu, My Hero Academia.
Yeah. Just look at this.
Look at that dude.
Look at this little guy.
He's on screen for a total of like 6 to 10 seconds. And
Johnny what?
Nomu.
Nomu.
Nomu. Yeah.
He's on screen for like 10 seconds.
That's what he is.
And he immediately gets fucking killed. And it's so fucking funny.
There he is.
He's got his Jordans.
He got them Jordans.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Oh lord.
Yep. It's rest in peace.
That's my favorite moment of the episode is him dying because it's so funny.
It's really funny, and also too well. He needed to die.
Yeah, he was suffering, but it was
because
funny.
let it be clear that that is like not good.
That is an abomination.
Because by now, oh man, would that be a spoiler? Like what the Nomu are?
Well, yeah.
Well, I guess maybe for Joe, like I'm aware of what the Nomu are, basically, because because like these characters are like these like brutal monsters. They're like kind of like in the employ or the servitude of the villains, and basically, I guess without it giving too much away, basically there's like these beings created by science, and they just sort of exist in a very like brutal like Spartan fashion. Like they're there to be like the kind of like the guerrilla warfare fighters for like some of the villainous characters, and like they all have like kind of differing designs, but one of the most commonality features is that they have like an exposed brain.
Yeah.
And if for Joe, that's the big brain thing that All Might fights in the first season, but the big like 300 punch
that's the first Nomu
like signature scene of the first season, and just seeing like how like deranged and like grotesque some of the Nomus get later on in the series, and then like once you find out like a dark secret to what the Nomu are and how they're produced, it's like, oh fuck, that's really fucked up.
Yeah, no, like My Hero Academia, because on the surface it's definitely like, you know, you're dealing with heroes and hope and fighting, but like also too it's like it's all really fucking dark and it's so fucking good, and watch it.
Yeah, like this season, I would say first episode fantastic. It was a little bit of setup, but it got right into the action.
Got right into it.
Thank fucking God. But this season, super important for the anime. Because last season, a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was fine. But anime season is super important because this arc in the manga, like we said, is super important as well. I'm saying super important because it's
super important.
This is important.
It's super important. So like, because like last arc, it was all set up. It literally sets up for the war arc, which is this arc, and you got to watch it because then this sets up Endgame and everything else.
Because that's something I do know is that because the fourth season is like them fighting the Yakuza and like all the stuff. But then I know a lot of people either just kind of like ho hum on this the past season because like it is like a lot of build up and it may not be have like the same sort of high intensity of action, but like they can't pop off all the time, so they have to come down a little bit to go back up. And like just from like the pages of the manga that I found for like what corresponds to this section, it's like holy shit, like Horikoshi went nuts for this segment, and
he goes nuts all the time in the manga. Like the first 100 or so chapters, they're good, but when he gets better at his art, he just draws visual. It's not porn, but it's porn.
Yeah,
I mean not porn in the literal sense of it.
It makes you want to gush.
Eye candy.
It's eye candy.
You're just in awe like how good is it. Although I will say this one picture Mirko is pretty.
I know.
I would say it's a little bordering on pornographic. I mean, she's still badass killing like all these like mutated science monster, but then like you see that thing.
Yeah. Horikoshi stated in an interview that Mirko is like his favorite character and hero to draw.
Yeah,
which is like yeah.
We can tell.
No, like
Draw her naked.
You can practically see her pussy.
I'm talking to Horikoshi.
No, because like every time you look at that image, it's like motherfucker, like he had to have drawn it and then like covered it up.
Like he draws her naked and then put clothes on top of her. That's kind of how it feels. So yeah, American and Japan superhero comics, like clasping hand emoji, just like tits out superheroines. But I definitely do plan to catch up because I know it just from word of mouth how crazy and how severe things get in this show. It's a pretty night and day comparison to what this series has been up to this point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, check it out.
Check it out.
All right, we're going to take a break real quick. We'll get on to our next series. Hang tight. Welcome back, everybody. Part 2 of our fall 2022 anime review, and we have another Shonen Jump series we're going to talk to you about. It's the long-awaited finale of the Bleach series, a 1,000-year war arc. And
1,000-year blood war.
And it's been a long time coming because it's been literally 10 years since the original Bleach series ended.
2012 was the last time the anime was out, man.
That's crazy.
Because I remember watching the last episode of Bleach like 10 years ago. It was just like, fuck me, that's insane. Again, the series ended proper in 2016. Was still like, fuck, was it that long ago too? Time is making me want to wither into dust. But a little bit of revitalization because Bleach has returned with a very snazzy new season, and they put the money into this new season.
Yeah, like where Boruto was missing their budget, this is where their budget went because it's the same studio, Pierrot,
Look at me.
Pierrot,
Perot?
something like that.
I think
Anyways, they've animated Naruto, Shippuden, Bleach, Boruto. Now, 1,000-Year Blood War.
And you really see where the money, because not only is it just like really well animated, but also it's very stylish with like sort of the accoutrements in the series too. Like basically the intro and the outro have like these little like text overlays, and like the 3D Zanpakuto bits look great too.
I don't know what those are.
And there's
a bit I wanted to get to about you regarding this series in a moment.
The only bad parts of the show that I think look bad are the hollows. The thing is, I understand why they look like that. It's because there's so many of them and they have to mass animate them.
Yeah.
And they are not important. They will not come back after this first episode. Hollows are completely out the door. It's all Kinsey blood warfare.
Because I think Edgerunners has a leg up, and like if you're not accustomed to this world, you probably won't feel too lost. But like I feel if you have never seen a second of Bleach, I don't know how much this will be completely like congruent. But I think Winslow has some feelings on that.
Okay, because I watched it. Don't get me wrong, it was good. Had no idea what the fuck was happening, and then I say this to Cole, and it's like, well, you don't really need to know. You don't really need to know. It's like watching a Saturday morning, Friday morning cartoon like Power Rangers. You can just pop in the fucking 5th episode, watch it, and just be completely fine.
That's psycho shit.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, first question, why is it ladies' boobies so big?
Orihime, dog.
Okay,
Orihime.
number 2, what's an Arakanar or whatever? What the fuck's a Bankai? Why is there this organization? What exactly are hollows? Why are there people floating in the sky with an open door? What's this group? I literally asked all of this, and Cole was just like,
What? It's just like
I literally told him like, you know what? I'm gonna bring this up to Pat and JoJo, and they're gonna fucking deal with this.
Because like you said you watched, but I'm just like Winslow has not seen Bleach. He's not read Bleach. There is no way he's gonna know what the fuck is happening.
I know. I said that, and Cole was like, "Well, he was like, I had to wait till like episode or chapter 100 or whatever, and I'm fine." And then I was like, "What about?" And then he was like, "What about Naruto?" And he was like, "Naruto's different." What do you mean it's different?
And plus, like, this is the final story arc. There's literally hundreds of episodes, hundreds of chapters.
You're feeding me, Pat. You're feeding me right now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I love the bit. Cole's just like, you just no selling you. Yeah, you can come in. You'll pick it right up.
This motherfucker has been saying.
Look at him.
I know. That did this on purpose.
No, you're a fucking liar. Anyway, he's been saying, he's like, you don't need, he's like, it's fine. You know, you don't really need to like know anything. And then Tanner was the same fucking thing. Tanner was like, yeah, I don't really need any context. And like,
Tanner had to be on that bit.
No, I was gonna say if Colt was doing a bit, Tanner definitely was not on a bit because you know he's.
I did not message him before then.
I was about to say, I was like, there's no fucking way Tanner's on this bit. Tanner is just a bitch.
So obviously there's a lot to unpack. Because this is the conclusion of a very long running shonen series, but essentially what this is, it is a restart of the anime to pick up and to complete the for the final portion. So basically, it's about if you don't know anything about Bleach, Ichigo Kurosaki is a high schooler who obtains the power of the death god Shinigami. Shinigami are it's this organization, individuals a part of the Soul Society who are in charge of ferrying souls to the afterlife. And basically, he was sort of put in a situation where he took on the powers illegally and to save his loved ones. So,
yeah.
And the Soul Reapers, as they're called in the English translation, or Shinigami, they fight off the corrupted evil spirits called Hollows, which is the monsters you saw.
It's these spirits that do not get any help to be passed on. That's why they have holes in their chest, is because there was a chain initially attached to your soul. And that once that chain is ripped out, you become a hollow.
Basically, you're just like a lost monstrous soul.
And then if you're wondering what an Arankar is, it's essentially a stronger hollow. They go to Hueco Mundo, which is essentially hell. And once they go there, they fight and eat other hollows to become stronger. And once they get strong enough, they become humans. Like, not humans, but they get human forms back. And they're extremely powerful.
So basically, like, he's just like a highly evolved hollow. They sort of like essentially regain their human form in a way. But they're also kind of like an amalgamation of all the lost souls that they ate. Obviously, This is info dump.
Yeah.
This is like coming into the final exam and trying to cram for it.
No, I'm cramming.
Yeah, you're cramming. All right. So basically, and you see Ichigo's crew, which you have. Ichigo's the redhead with the gigantic sword. And the swords in this series are called Zanpato. It literally means soul cutter. It's what allows him to fight. And he has his team. He has Orihime, that's the girl with the great big boobies.
Why?
Because
that's just what Kubo wants.
Because it's anime, and obviously this kid would have double D tits. Because
not even the biggest in the series.
No, there is one character who
god
scary.
fucking bless
Hold
her.
on, we got
Rangiku, I fucking
Rangiku,
love
yeah.
Rangiku.
Rangiku is one of the Shinigami. She's you'll meet her later.
And she looks good in the anime. Like in the new 1,000-Year Blood War season, like he did a
Okay.
redesign on her, and her hair looks so good.
Winslow's looking to picture that picture of Rangiku. Or,
Oh my.
so that's Orihime. His best friend is Yasutora Sato, or he's called Chad. He is a half Japanese, half Mexican student, and his power he has two super powerful supernatural arms. One arm, his left arm is for offense, and his right arm is for defense. As you saw, the white arm is offensive.
Yeah, the white arm is the one that blasted a demon skull into the side of an apartment complex.
Yeah.
I just think that's so fucking funny because what about the people there?
Their lights were on. I was like, those people are fucking dead.
Well, no, it doesn't really count because it's soul damage.
And it was cool.
Okay.
I mean, it's just for the effect, because that was a pretty sick move when he just like bump, hit all of those and they go flying, and the impact makes a perfect skull on the building, El Muerte, because he has the right arm is the right arm of the giant, and then the left arm of the devil.
Oh, cool.
And Chad's very famous for he's Mexican and I don't know if he's Mexican and Japanese.
He's mestizo, which is mixed heritage.
yeah, you just said that.
Okay. But in the manga, it's so important to him. He's like, my grandpa, he's like super. He's the Mexican side. He's from Mexico. And he's like, I got to do this for my grandpa. And that's why he talks to Spirit. The beginning of the anime, he talks to a bird that goes on to afterlife. And I think it's fun later in this. I'm just talking to Bleach now. And then later, he just meets him in the afterlife. He's like, oh my God, the little bird boy. It's just nice. I love Chad. He's like top 5 favorite Bleach characters.
Because he's like the gentle giant. He's obviously like just he's supposed to be like 18, 17 years old, just built like the Rock, essentially.
Yeah.
It's like the meme of like Terry Crews from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like, I'm a 12-year-old boy, and he's just a giant strapping man.
Yeah.
And then they have the final member of his team, Uryu Ishida, who he's a boy with glasses, and he has this little tiny handheld bow and arrow, and he's a part of this heretofore previously known to be extinct race of spiritualists called the Quincy, depending on how you pronounce it. Basically, they ran afoul of the Soul Society because they would also hunt down the lost spirits, but they would utterly destroy them with their power. Not knowingly, of course, because they didn't realize, because in the real world and spirit world I have to maintain a relative balance of spirits on one side versus the other. Because the Quincy's were destroying these souls, it caused an imbalance in reality. And so because that shift in reality threat to destroy reality, the Soul Society did one of their many heinous shadowy deeds and exterminated this entire race.
Yeah, and one of the most evil Soul Reapers is Mayuri
Mayuri
Kurisuchi. He's the guy with the crazy face paint, like the head.
Yeah.
Oh, and he has like the baby bond.
Yeah.
Oh God, fuck that thing.
Because he's like this evil, amoral, like scientist. Basically, like his sword, he is able to turn into like this weird, like genetically mutated, like monster caterpillar baby. Very grotesque, very horrific. I mean, you could probably dig it for the design.
Oh
right?
yeah, he looks sick. Like he's essentially immortal because like whenever he dies, he just says, "I'm gonna turn into goo." He just turns into goo and slithers off. He's a freak of nature.
And so obviously this is Bleach 101, essentially this segment. But he's a part of the science division, and he was the one that was personally involved and oversaw the execution of the Quincy.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
And
Looking at it right now.
Ishida Uryu had like a brutal fight with him.
That was his most epic scene in the entire series. Is the first time he fought him.
Yeah, and so obviously there's Uryu's supposed to be like the rival, the Sasuke for Ichigo.
He used to be a lot shittier at the very beginning of the series. Now he's chilled out.
So he's cool now. But then, because they have these two new Shinigami who arrive onto the beat to be the basically patrol the area, the town that Ichigo lives in. Basically,
Not important anymore after this first episode, by the way.
This is just sort of to reset the plate, essentially. Just sort of like, hey, Ichigo, you know, we appreciate what you do, but also we want to take some burden off of you, or like, you know, whatever shadowy things the Soul Society's up to. And they're attacked by an Iran car, which, as we said before, is a hall that sort of regained its human form through like the cannibalization of other lost souls. And this Iran car was sort of adopted into what seems to be the revitalization of the Quincy's. Basically, like, this was an exterminated race, and to come back for revenge on the Soul Society for their genocide, essentially.
Speaking German.
Yeah, that's their whole thing. They're essentially spirit Nazis.
Okay.
So there's definitely that aspect of them. Obviously, the original, when these characters were established like 20 years ago, they didn't have that far planned. So because like the bad guys, they really lean on like the Nazi imagery.
Yeah, the Vandenreich.
The Vandenreich is what?
Yeah, I know, that's what they were called.
This division of the Quincy's.
It just threw me off whenever the guy was fighting Ichigo and he started speaking German. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
And basically, this Iran-car is kind of like a ploy to kind of goad Ichigo into using his Bankai. What the Bankai is, it's sort of the ultimate power of their swords. Zanpakuto have a ability where upon the recital of an incantation, they transform their sword into like something else. Like
The final form, essentially.
So you have like an initial form, like, you know, somebody's ability to transform their basic katana into like a scythe or a whip, you know, it's like a new form. And then only the most powerful or the most plot important Shinigami have ability to go one step further, the ultimate version of that, which is Bankai. Shikai is the initial form, and then you have Bankai, which is the final form. And these new Quincy have a bit of technology that allows them to essentially steal the ultimate power of the Soul Reaper to Shinigami and use that against them.
But they couldn't steal Ichigo's for some reason. Not going to spoil anything for future things.
So basically,
there's something important.
There's a bit of a mystery why even some of the strongest Soul Reapers, like the one you saw that gets like fucking nailed to the wall by a giant spear arrow, he had his Bankai.
He was an extremely... The fun thing, I looked into his character, is he is one of Yamamoto's oldest men in his squad, and that was the first time he activated his Bankai in, I want to say, hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And that was the first time he activated it. Instantly murked.
Get fucking nailed
killed.
to the wall. Jesus.
It's all because he got his Bankai stolen immediately. And the fact that he was so, like, getting beat bad that he had to activate after all this time and immediately gets wrecked. So good. And the fact... Oh, man, and then Old Man Yamamoto. In the manga, it's a lot cooler, but whenever the squad of Walk's fucking SS hits up, they're like, wow, you don't even have any good security. And he's like, I'm here. I'm the only security I need.
No, I mean, that was still kind of badass.
I know, but in the manga, he's got like heavy eyes and like dark shadows, and he looks so fucking intimidating.
There's a lot of really just impressive moments in the manga. And not to say like there aren't, because this episode looks sick as fuck. And like, as someone who's gone through the peaks and valleys, in my opinion, the final arc of Bleach, as I'm sure we'll have our debates in the future, but there's a lot of really strong moments in the first half, and I think what will help my sort of discontent with how the series ended is I feel like this anime was sort of not only sort of flesh out the parts that maybe a little weaker, but also kind of basically give it a chance to be its final version, because Bleach kind of got canceled at the end because it just like wasn't doing the same number, so they had to kind of like quickly wrap it up, and you can really tell at a certain point in the manga when like, oh shit, we got to get this done because time's running out. I feel like this will sort of give it the ending that it deserves, on top of expanding what was already there. Mm-hmm. So obviously that's a lot of just jibber jabber if you've never watched a second of Bleach, how just like that was just nonsense they talked about.
But it's a completely worth it to go back and read it. I bought it all. I've read it all. I fucking love Bleach. I
Holt
understand
binged Bleach this year.
why it's in the big three for a reason. Every single one of the big three of the anime, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, completely worth getting into. You should check them out. Even though I think Bleach is number 3, Naruto number 2, and One Piece is number 1, definitely check this out.
Because like Bleach, for all its fault, it's still incredibly stylish. Like Tite Kubo, say what you will about his story direction or his story pacing, like he's got the art down.
Mm-hmm. He drew Yoruichi.
I was fucking waiting for that.
That's all you need.
Because
out of all the things I know Yorichi.
Because
Bleach Volume 17. Look that up. You don't have to, but I'm just telling the listeners.
JoJo's about to look up Bleach Volume 17.
Look at the cover for Bleach Volume 17.
Because I'm sure if you don't know anything about Bleach, you probably know like the sexy women of Bleach.
Nice.
Now Bleach Volume 40.
Right, we gotta look at a
Oh yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
No,
I remember those volumes.
Oh wait, is it that picture of Yoruichi?
no, it's just we're looking at people
No,
with bleached hair.
You said volume 40?
Yeah. Is it not Rangiku?
No.
Oh,
I don't know who that is.
let me see.
No, it's one of the Rancor.
That has Okiora on it.
Oh, well, he's cool. Well, the one I was thinking of, she has large breasts.
If it's the one that JoJo showed me, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And plus, there's that very infamous picture of Yoruichi at the very tail end of the 1,000-Year Blood Art.
Amen, brother.
God damn it! It's like just like you literally drew her butthole.
Yes.
God damn it!
Are you Googling Yoruichi butthole?
Jojo, that is the work computer. You can't Google Yoruichi butthole.
What the fuck? That's straight up.
Okay, I gotta see this.
No, like, no. Why would you,
Jojo,
They just typed in Yurichi butthole. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay.
It's just straight up hentai.
Yeah, this is just porn. Like straight up porn.
I doubt this is from the official manga.
I think there might be some doujinshi in that sort of history.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Bleach is good. Check it out if you're a Bleach fan.
It's time for me to get involved.
Now your interest has been piqued, Tom. I'm sure it was something else. Yeah, Bleach was fun. Even as someone who felt a little burned how Bleach went, I'm definitely like, you know what, son of a bitch, I'm back in. Let's go. And I think that's a good bit to jump off on Bleach and head to the next series, which is the 3rd season of Mob Psycho 100, which of course will let Colt Winslow talk about a little bit more, since this isn't one I got a chance to see, and JoJo's
I'm busy.
JoJo got caught up. Fucking put that phone down right now. I will take it away from you. So if you would, please discuss, with spoilers sensitive, the season premiere of Mob Psycho 100.
There is a scene in this episode of someone smoking a cigarette that had at least 5 million frames in it.
It was crazy. I mean, I felt like Bleach was definitely felt cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
Mob just went full on, felt cinematic.
This is Bones jerking off right here. The studio behind the animation.
Yeah. It takes place right after the ending of season 2.
With the broccoli tree in the middle of the city.
Which, if you want, you can go way back to our non-canon files where we discuss in detail the entirety of Mob Psycho season 2. It's like, fuck me, that feels like forever ago too.
I know.
Because that was 2018 too?
Yeah.
Fuck.
20.
God damn. I feel like AYCH is almost just like sedimentary rock. Like you can just see the clear divides in time.
Yeah.
So it takes place right after that. We're following another core theme, I guess, if you want to call it that, of the so far of this portion, I imagine, because I don't know if it will change up later, but it's really good. It pops off.
The animation quality, absurd, like we said. It follows Mob trying to go through his day-to-day life with trying to figure out what he wants to do for his future. It's very heartwarming.
Yeah,
He talks around his family, to his friends, to Reagan. he's like, I don't know what I want to do, like what high school I want to go to, what I want to do after high school.
Yeah.
And like Reagan's like, you'll come work for me, obviously. And then Mob will work up the strength to say like, I think I want to do something else. And then Reagan's like, I understand completely. Whatever you want to do, you'll be the best at what you can and do. It's extremely heartwarming and lovely. And in between that, there's some like really cool action scenes, isn't there? Or am I misremembering? I watched this a while ago.
You think I'm gonna help you?
You watched it yesterday.
I watched it 2 days ago.
Can you help me? All right, we're done with Mob. What's that?
Okay, yeah. So there was not really action scenes. There was they were exercising basically two spirits. Really cool, really pretty.
It was a good bit too.
And then when with Mob and Reagan, it's really cool because if you've watched the first two seasons, they definitely have a good wholesome relationship, but it's very roundabout. But with this, it's very much more like, it's much more direct and more honest, which is like fucking great. Because like Reagan, when he says like, "Oh, you'll come work for me," he was just joking. He was like, "Mob, I was just joking. You can do whatever you want, and that's okay." And like that's what I was talking about with the core theme is basically Mob trying to find himself, kind of figure out what he wants to do, because he got those like surveys or whatever, like, this is what I want to do, figure that out, like what high school to go to. And then like even then it's like people are given different stuff, but we get to really see like kind of like the adults, and I mean everybody kind of chipping in and telling them like, well, this is what I'm doing, or you're in middle school right now, it's okay,
you still have your whole life. And I think one of the most satisfying things about Mob, even for like Joe's not caught up, just seeing the progression of Mob's character, going from just being like this extreme doormat of a character, just very passive and deferential and supplantive, and like basically learning to stick up for himself, to not only to others and to people close to him, but like to him, his own like inner monologue. It's like, hey, I'm not like this tiny diminutive person, like I have worth, and like being able to see that, and just like his growth over the series has been like really fun. Obviously he's still like a kind of diminutive put upon soul, but still like just how like just minutely he's different, and just seeing how other people change, like how Reagan's changed from season 1 to season 3.
Yeah, and it's a huge change. Mm-hmm. Like it's really fucking good,
because like he's just like a shyster, like con artist, and
he
like,
still is.
Yeah, but
don't
like,
get it wrong.
But like not going into like any kind of what happens in season 2.
I don't know anything that happens other than what we just saw
in season 2.
Oh, season 3. Yeah.
Colt already forgot season 2. That was 4 years ago. But like obviously the emotional weight of that this series has is still there. Like there's still one episode in season 1 I think about. It's like, fuck, I can get teary-eyed thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's also genuinely funny. There's a scene where a guy's like, all right, I need like this haunted vase. I paid like 500,000 yen for it.
He paid 80,000.
80,000 yen for it. And then Reagan lifts it up and checks the bottom, and it says like 500 yen on the bottom.
500 fucking yen.
Somebody conned him, and he's like, I don't think there's a spirit in this. I don't sense any spirits from it.
But then immediately Mob's like, you should put that down, Reagan.
Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck. And there's another character that's in the loop of this, but I can't say who it is. It'd be a spoiler, but Reagan and his interactions,
they're fucking funny.
They're so fucking funny. It's so good. Yeah, it still carries that, like you said, that emotional weight. Very kind of like grounded kind of themes of like, what's one's place in life and stuff like that. It still carries that, and it has that beautiful animation, and yeah, it's really great.
And like, because I'm definitely excited to get back on the Mob train, because I remember seeing on Twitter, or maybe last month or so, like the essentially part of the final battle from season 2, and just like, fuck, I forgot how goddamn hard this show goes.
I was about to, because like I will say, like speaking of scenes that made me cry, I will say that end portion of that final battle always gets me teary eyed, and then also too whenever he does the big battle scene in the spirit world, I'll just say that gets me teary eyed because it's also just so fucking beautiful.
And we also see the iconic percentage number go up a little bit this episode too.
Yeah, and I think it's crazy because like for the first like 2 seasons, you know, it went up pretty rapidly, but now we're just seeing it like slow.
And that another part of Mob's character where like he never like exercised his true feelings, so he just had it all bottled up all the time. So like when he had these outbursts, that's when like crazy psychic supernatural stuff happened. But like over the course of the series, is him learning to let that out in a healthy way, and that's why, you know, his sort of like stress meter is not sort of like rapidly ticking up like it was in the past, because he sort of learned other ways to let that out. And like obviously he's still very like kind of emotionless and monotonous in his expression, because obviously he's still who he is, but like the nuances within that.
Yeah.
So definitely excited to check that out. Off mic. Do you need to take another break?
No, we're good.
Okay. All right. Moving along to our next series, we have Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury, which we will clarify that we watched the prequel episode in addition to the first episode for this one. And basically, this is a brand new Gundam series. It stands out in that not only is this the first series with like a dedicated female protagonist, but it's also set in an entirely new universe that's not connected to any other Gundam series. So like if you never watched a moment of Gundam in your life, you can jump into this and not feel any burdened down with sort of like any of the past histories and like continuity. So you can walk in just fine.
Yep.
And basically you have 2 different sort of stories in a way. With the prologue is very sort of dramatic and very indicative of what Gundam is, with a lot of political intrigue, and like it's very like somber and serious. Whereas the first episode of the series proper, it's more light and obviously very action heavy, but it has these 2 different tones, but they don't clash with each other. And basically the first episode, the prologue opens with this group of scientists living on a sort of asteroid space station, basically building this mobile suit.
So they're building Gundams specifically, because there's a difference between Gundams
and
mobile suits.
Yeah.
And basically with this contingency of individuals is in conflict with another group, and basically the drama episodes comes from the sort of foreign powers trying to exercise their influence on this station.
Yeah, it's they throw so many different fucking names out. I was like, okay, so like basically the group of scientists we see, they're part of a company known as AYCH Earth,
something like that,
and they're developing Gundam suits. But the purpose of this is because it's kind of this is something that's done in all sci-fi, is like exploring how the human body handles itself in space. And like it's, you know, shown that like it completely changes our biology, especially if you're gonna have like probably children or whoever born in space it's gonna change. So Gundams and that science and research into them and the mobile suits is like to see like, okay, can we make better prosthetics? Can we help? How will this help us with like space travel and all that stuff? And that's what it's for.
Yeah, they're seen as like the next natural step in the evolution of mankind.
Yeah, and you have the Mobile Suit Council, who they are the ones that determine like over like laws and like issues involving mobile suits, and Gundams kind of fall into that. Because, like Colt said, they're completely 2 different things. Because there's some mobile suits that aren't Gundam, and I don't know how it's going to explain the difference in this, because in the main timeline, Gundams are specific suits that are made from a special metal called Gundarium, and it's shortened to just Gundam, and they're also unique in like their connection to like weird space stuff.
Yeah, it's like magic shit.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to explain. But yeah, and in this, it's not that, but we will probably find out eventually.
There's definitely political intrigues that even like someone like me who hasn't watched Gundam since, probably the early 2000s, like, I still, okay, I just know there's political intrigue, you know, I just know these guys are in opposition to our protagonist, so, like, you don't really need to know the finer points because, like, you can kind of, like, suss it out yourself, okay, like, who stands where. But I think
Sus. I'm sorry, my brain works.
just know that part of the issues with the Gundam and for this story is that while this is a very complex and unique, like, sort of robot, it's that the strain of the machine, like, causes, like, physical and mental damage to the pilots, to the point where they're essentially catatonic.
Yeah, the pilots are having to connect, like, directly to it through their nervous system and all that shit. And I guess the mobile suits, they don't do that, I imagine.
Yeah, that's my thing. I think the whole Delling's bit was like, not a bit. His whole thing is he's against the Gundams because he thinks mobile suits should be made for killing. Weapons should only be used for killing, something like that. And that he doesn't like these because it's killing our own people. So it's essentially like you will be killing the enemy, but it's also harming the users.
Yeah.
So he's against them for
like
that
this,
reason.
he makes this weird moralizing speech about, like, death and killing. It's just like killing with guns and stuff. That's fine because that's a person killing a person. But just with this is a robot killing the user. It's like it's just weird.
No, I was talking to Colt about this because I was like, who the fuck wrote this speech? Because it's really weird. Because he was like, weapons are meant for killing. There's no exception. It's like, okay. But the problem with Gundam is that it's also killing the user. And the user's soldier, they have to carry the sin of murder and killing. And it's like
it's a bad thing that the Gundam is, like, putting this barrier between the act of killing.
Yeah, like, I'm glad y'all are saying, because I was thinking that too, and I thought I was just stupid.
No, I was like, am I fucking, like, what's going on?
Well,
like, part of me it kind of came across like whoever was doing the translation for the subs didn't necessarily know what they were doing.
Well, also part of me feels like, well, it just sounds like kind of like gibberish, but also at the same time, I feel like that's intentional to just see, like, how far in left field the Delling Corporation is.
I was about to say, because, like, if anything, it obviously sets up, like, Delling is the bad guy. He's a piece of shit. And, like, this also sets into, like, the rest of the series, because after that, you know, like, our main protagonist and everything on conflict is that, like, Gundams, they're wanting to do away with them, basically ban them. And after everything that's happened, it's like, well, shit, like, it's just mobile suits now. Gundams are, you know, either extinct or illegal and rare.
So, like, it's just, like, basically just, like, big political play to get, like, they're in some way they're threatened by the existence of the Gundam, and they're trying to do, like, this big roundabout way of wiping them, or, like, you know, taking them off the map, which means, like, they send in SEAL Teams Space 6 to, like, kill the people.
They kill
on this,
all the fucking scientists.
Anyone involved with it.
and they don't. These people get murked, just headshots.
Which that's Gundam. Like,
Yeah.
they're fucking pieces of shits. The only people that survive are soon to be protagonist and the protagonist's mother,
Eri, and what was the mother's name?
Eleonora.
Yeah.
Eleanor.
And they escape in the most important Gundam because they were making Gundams, but the one they escaped in is super important, and we don't necessarily know why just yet.
But we know it's super advanced, and yeah.
Because the mother was sort of the chief pilot and sort of, like, breaking down the sort of the connectivity neurologically with this machine.
Yeah.
But she hit, like, kind of like a stymieing point. But then, for reasons we're not quite sure yet, her 4-year-old daughter is able to, like, connect neurologically with the machine, and it's just like, oh fuck, because people use these machines, they wither away and die. As you see that by turning on, like, I guess the efficacy of the machine, it makes the machine more, like, viable in battle, but also it does more damage to the user because you literally let the veins and, like, these techno, like, burns show up on the pilots when they're fighting the Delling's army that comes to attack the station.
Yeah, it's really it's a crazy scene because like you see, like, you feel the horror of it because, I mean, you have a little girl happen chance connected to this machine and happens to be a perfect fucking match. And then when they're fighting, literally, who's the one having to do all the commands? Her. She's just
1,
like,
2, 3.
It's like, look, mama, they're like birthday candles. Those are people and they're fucking dead.
So, like, but obviously, she's a little girl. She doesn't realize what she's doing. Then her mother's just like, one, horrified at there. Her daughter is now genetically connected to this war machine, but also that, like, oh, she just, like, blowing up all these, like, these soldiers. Even though, these are, like, trying to take their life. Still, like, the fucking horror of just, like, my daughter is now part of this war now, and she can't escape it.
And the fact that she's controlling it so well at just a baby,
She's 4.
She's getting set up to be a very strong pilot in the future.
Oh, for real.
In which we kind of see a taste of that.
We do in the first episode.
And, like, the prototype for Ariel, as will be known in the next episode, it's got a cool power. It basically has, like, these attachments on it that remove themselves from the main body of the Gundam and are kind of like floating free form. They can reconfigure into a shield, they can reconfigure to a sword or a rifle, but also they can fly and shoot and attack independently. They have swarm.
They have their own fucking lasers, which is like insane.
They've toyed with us in the past before with fin funnels. These are essentially fin funnels that are weapons other than like free-formed lasers.
Yeah.
They'd just be little drones that come out and shoot spirit lasers out.
Yeah, but this is like I would say probably the most advanced.
Yes.
And
yes.
I do think it was crazy too, because when those 2 Gundam units were fighting and they had the missiles on or the explosives on their little things, they were like, we've never dealt with this kind of weaponry before. I was like, fuck, this isn't the same universe, because that shit's everywhere in regular Gundam universe. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to talk to Joe just for a bit, because, like, I don't know how much experience you have with Gundam previously, if at all.
Jack shit.
So perfect. This is like a excellent, example of just like someone who has no previous experience with the franchise at all. What were your feelings on this prologue episode?
I mean, honestly, this and the first episode I really enjoyed. I mean, honestly, all the anime that we watched, at least the ones I watched, I mean, are really fucking good. I think Colt's right. This is probably the best season we've done. Yeah, as far as just like overall impressions, I knew there was like a lot of like political intrigue. Some of like the techno babble just kind of like over my head.
As a veteran of Gundam, it's in here. I understand most of what they're saying. 75%. So.
Because there might be like some new vocabulary they're throwing at you too.
Yes,
yeah,
there is.
But yeah, like the action's really good. Like animation's great. I really enjoyed it.
And but also it's like the show ends like the prologue ends on a very, very somber note.
Yeah.
When essentially the father in his mobile suit tackles like the leader of the invading army, and basically like turns his Gundam all the way up. Basically, kind of he's frying himself to push the villain away while his wife and child escape. And basically, because this whole attack happened on his daughter's birthday, he's singing one last birthday song to his daughter as he's rapidly dying from the strain of this machine.
And ends with the sword being pulled out the gut of his mech.
Which I will say, that was really insane whenever he like pushed it to its limit, and then like you see like from his point of view where like he basically just goes into fucking cyberspace or whatever. It was crazy visual right there.
Like his body was consumed by the machine, and you'd see like one last memory of him like welcoming his wife and daughter to like their bunk for the birthday. And it's just like, fuck. 'Cause I remember the first time I watched this episode, I'm just like, God damn, this is sad.
And it doesn't stop there. That's Gundam.
That's Gundam. And I can only imagine it gets sadder.
Because like
it never gets happier.
Because I get Iron-Blooded Orphan vibes from this, like strong.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of like crossovers from this and Iron-Blooded Orphans.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Which Iron-Blooded Orphans is good.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so jumping ahead, this will be the discussion of the first episode proper of AYCH Mercury, and this is what 10 years after
13.
Yeah,
13. So she's 17.
She's 17.
Yeah. 17 in this jump forward. Basically, she is like she's basically a pilot in training. She has like she has the completed aerial Gundam that's hers now.
It's a classic
tricolor.
Yeah, it's classic tricolor.
And
I love this design. You can definitely tell it's got a little like film design to it, but it's not like this is a titty Gundam.
Nah.
But like I love the design of Ariel. It's just like it's a great.
it's a great classic.
Great, so the classic Gundam colors, but she's sort of being taken to like essentially what is like this academy for pilots.
Yeah, but it's like it's not just for pilots. It's literally anybody who has any interest in mobile suits or basically like it's for like the rich motherfuckers because
like, the entire umbrella of like piloting and support around the
corporations, business, it's all of that and in there, and it's pretty. It's sorry that
motorcycle.
Yeah, that motorcycle is really.
Or
anybody
car,
just
whatever the
anybody
fuck.
just pop a boner.
I'm hard.
No, actually, that's a chainsaw.
Not yet.
But yeah, it was really it's really interesting because like having like looking at the space station like from a second like viewing, like now I can point out like where exactly they are. I'm just like, fuck, this thing is crazy. This design, I love it
Because it kind of reminds me of when they're inside like the interior of the space station. There's like a curvature to like the land inside. It kind of reminded me of Elysium.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
essentially Colony.
yeah, it's
I mean, that's not the first one to do that, but like that's the first thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was that one place
Halo.
and fuck, it was from Book of Boba Fett recently. They had like we're on this like ring in space.
I haven't seen
I don't
Book of Boba
remember.
Fett. But I mean that's basically your standard like space station habitat. So.
And you know, there's a lot of great detail in it. Like every single show is beautifully animated. It's
Yeah.
like this is no exception.
Yeah.
And basically we have Aerie all grown up, but she's under a different name. She has a new name now. But it's Suletta Mercury.
Yeah. Because she's from Mercury.
Because that's where she was sort of, I guess they fled to after the attack. And basically she was a very bubbly girl as a child, but now as she's gotten older, she's like very shy, very demure, very just like apologetic in like everything she does. She's just like very like timid and like kind of frazzled. And basically right before she got to school, she busts out of her spaceship with her mobile suit to get someone she thought she would save because she like the person in the spacesuit floating in space. Turns out that was a very rich young girl who's trying to escape the academy because like she's basically wrapped up in this giant political intrigue of like being betrothed to like another like rich person's son to sort of broker this deal between like alliant corporations.
Yeah, the guy Jeturk, he's part of one of the
He's a jerk, get it?
Yeah, he's part of one of the three major like companies from what he said, and literally this school has its own rules, and one of the rules is that if you're gonna solve a matter, you're gonna fucking duel, and he dueled, and she is sadly his fiance, and she's trying to escape that, and like, God, it's really fucking awful, but we get some really good dialogue and shit like that.
Because like she's basically like, you know, I am a person. Why am I using it as a prop for like this business deal? So she's trying to like squirm her way out, but then like, you know, Richie Rich over here is like, you're gonna go with me, and you're gonna set up this whole life for us.
Oh, and it's a really like good or it's a merger that they want basically because she is the daughter of the head of the academy, which is Delling, the big bad bitch,
the big evil group that we saw in episode 0, and basically it's Suletta or Mercury, Aerie, what do you want to call her? She's sort of navigating in her own like very timid way through the academy. She runs back into Mirione.
Miorine.
Mitorine.
Yeah, Mirroring.
Because these are all like vaguely like Europeans, it's still kind of Japanese.
They're space names.
They're Spatians. So like they sound very strange. So basically, she goes back to Miroine's like little capsule house, and it's like, why are you following me around, you silly girl? I was like, you screwed everything up. She's like, oh, I want to make it up to you. And then like the most psycho fucking
Most
shit
heinous fucking scene
I've
of
ever
everything.
This girl eats a fucking tomato like it's an apple. Like,
Yeah, her stomach growls and she's like, "Oh, you're hungry? Here's a fucking raw tomato."
But don't worry, it's good because it's a different breed.
It's a sweet tomato, but still just like.
I was like, this better be like, this tomato has to have like sugar and salt in it or some shit, because there's no, you could not, I mean, you could pay me, but I would not fucking just bite into a raw tomato.
Because that's the thing about living in the South that just always fucks me up, among many other things. Just like, it's an innocuous thing that pisses me off. How like, I know people who just do just raw dog tomato, just like
yeah, I don't.
And
know
they're
how
all
they do
over
it.
the age of 40.
it's insane.
Yes.
That's like some depressing shit.
Like, man, apples,
But then also like
pears.
that's also a thing in Japan. Like I've seen more than one Toku show where like there's like a bowl of fruit and then there's like also a bowl of tomatoes. People just like
Apples, pears,
what the
plums,
fuck?
It's
oranges,
wretched.
bananas.
I do not condone biting into a tomato like it's a fucking apple. It's
Pineapple, watermelon, any fucking fruit.
anything else you can just chow down on, not a tomato.
Well, it'd be kind of fucked up if you just bit into a pineapple without cutting it first.
No, I know. I'm just.
But also, that's a funny gag from One Piece recently, where Marco just
Yes,
I
that
was
is
thinking of a
bit.
banana too, like just.
Oh,
bite.
God.
Obviously, in my scenario, with the stuff that needs to be opened or cut up, they would cut it up. But like this is psycho.
this is psycho shit. So then, rich kid busts up and there's like, "What's up, you little stupid girl? You're gonna live with me and like it." And he starts mashing up like her little tiny pot house, and it's like,
Dude's a dick.
Fucking ass.
yeah, because there are so many just rich bastard kids in this season, and he's one of them, chief among them. And then like Aries just like, "No, stop it." So she's so timid, she just the only way she can figure to stop him, she slaps him, but only on the ass.
She spanks that ass. That
He's naughty boy.
he's a little fucking baby bitch. And he spank their asses.
And then
And he
just-
cried.
He cried.
He did not.
He didn't.
He got pissed off. It's like, well, if you're gonna fucking act out with this, well, I guess we gotta settle this. The only way we know how in this school.
I guess we got a duel. Pot agreed.
Pot agreed.
Told you.
So they go to their dueling field into like the weird vertical rotunda spaceship, and so he has like his tricked out his suit with like magenta, the big flower feather antenna blade. Basically, rules of the duel is that the loser, succeeds the match when like that decorative antenna is cut off. But then obviously this dude's so full of himself that he just like goes whole hog and just like blows up the entire robot, or really fucks it up.
Yeah.
Just to show like what a prick he is.
Yeah.
But he is as big of a blowhard he did. He's still like the top ranked duelist. in
Yeah, he's like, he's the holder or whatever.
So
So
his special title, because he's rich and he's famous and yada yada. But we see Ariel in the battlefield, but it's not Eri, it's Miriam. She stole it. And it's like, you know what? Well, if the whole thing's about me, then I'm gonna fucking have a say in this and fight too. But she doesn't know how to fight. She's never used a mobile
yeah,
suit.
especially since she just took this random one that she knows nothing about.
And this one's extremely special, and it might not control like the other ones.
Like, all right.
It's like she picked. I'm gonna close my eyes and pick a robot at random, and I happen to land on the most specific and special robot ever.
Like, you can't just pick out one from the academy. You have to pick out.
Like,
This,
they literally have the student mech section. Pick one out.
yeah, for real.
Which is like, no, this one looks cool. I'm gonna take this. And then Erie's like, no, wait. She rides her little like Haru scooter into like the student war zone. And it's like hops in the mech. It's like, no. I'll show you how it's really done.
This
So-
is my sister. Get the fuck out of here.
This is my
Essentially.
fucking family, bitch.
Yeah, essentially is her sister though.
Yeah.
because she was like raised inside this robot that
And she talks to her. I think because it's. I'm getting hints that it's an AI. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so but it's connected to her DNA, so only she can hear it. So like she sits in the cockpit and it goes zoop, like it comes to life because homegirl she's couldn't figure out hardly her ass in the hole in the ground, and then shit gets real, and then she turns on like the particle shield where it like reconforms and like slices this dude up.
Cut this fucker up, and it is perfect. And he's just like, what just happened?
He had no chance to respond.
Like literally, it was so sick. Like it gets hit, obviously getting bounced back, but then eventually the beams are so powerful they cut off both legs, both arms, and then she takes her energy beam saber, and then she cuts off his fucking V-fin, which is like also kind of like, yeah.
And so like he had this big like
all the feather
flourish. There's feathers everywhere,
and for some reason there's the sun is going through the clouds, but it's an artificial environment.
Yeah,
so
it just looked sick.
It looks sick.
I mean, it looks cool because like literally the like I guess like the student or like faculty is like, okay, we're gonna turn on the dramatic sun setting and just like watch this shit unfold. And then Eric's like, woo, that was close, wasn't that crazy? And then Mariona's like, well, great job, it's all part of my plan, you see, because now you're the top rated duelist in the academy, and that means you're now my fiance,
you're my bride.
And then she's freaking out like, what? Mercury doesn't Mercury is a conservative place. Here we have lesbians everywhere. So
and it's a really good moment because Ariel is also the mech is like sitting down on one knee, like as if she's proposing. So it's really, it's a really pretty scene.
Because the episode's called The Witch and the Bride.
And also too, her uniform changes to white now because that's the colors of victory.
Yeah, and also the colors of weddings.
Yep. So it was really cool, and we get like so many, like speaking of like beautiful like designs and stuff, like we get so many different like characters who are like, it's like, oh man, I wonder if they're gonna be part of the story.
You'll have like a crowd of kids like looking at the fight on their phone, and like there's normal students left and right. In the middle, there's a girl, huge puffy pink hair, all pink outfit. No one else has an outfit that's like custom like that. There are other characters, but they're really important as well. And so it's like, maybe this girl with the puffy pink hair is important.
Maybe the people with like very like extravagant anime hairdos will be relevant to the plot.
Like there's like a room with like 4 people in it. One guy is like the guy who's like looking at his book, doesn't fucking care about anything, only gets any interest when he sees a Gundam. The kind of the free guy with the long blonde hair, a quiet little dude, and then some girl with these like thigh-high socks. Like obviously, they're important. Maybe, I don't know.
Hi.
The girl, I guess her name is Cecilia or whatever. The only name that I could probably, but not besides Ari, that I could remember and pronounce. She's like hi, and I cannot stop saying it.
I mean, it's a funny bit how it's like she's just sort of like, sure, I'll turn on the secret levers and switch on my phone.
Hi.
And plus like this show just gels so well because JoJo and I were watching Revolution Girl Utena, the famous lesbian anime action series, and like this is Utena in space.
This is basically the plot of Utena.
I was gonna say, I was literally looking up because I was trying to look up something about, or I was looking up the suit, and on the fan wiki or whatever, it's like it straight up is like, yeah, this is like takes some inspiration from Revolutionary Girl Utena, and then also too it takes inspiration from The Tempest, written by William Shakespeare.
No, I guess
because there is a lady Prospero, and that's a character from Tempest, Prospero, and then also Ariel is based off of a spirit called Ariel from
because
the
it's spelled Aerial, like Ariel, like something in the sky, not the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, and Ariel in the Tempest is Arial. Yeah. So,
which like, man, it's been a long time since I've read The Tempest.
It's been long.
Yeah,
like high school, but. Witch and Mercury kicks ass. Like, I said, I haven't watched Gundam in over 10 years. Like, I'm back, baby. The bitch is back.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
As a Gundam fan, like, this is probably one of the best starts to a Gundam series. Like, usually it's a slower, like, burn that kicks into full gear, but no, it kicked off immediately.
I was about to say, because Iron Blooded Orphans did a really good job of, literally first episode, right into it. Barbatos, like it's really good, and it takes from that. So I'm glad.
Yeah,
I
but with
think-
like Zeta, Double O, it takes a little bit to get to it.
Because, like, I was going to say, I think that's something the Gundams are known for. Like, obviously they have their fans. And then, like, there's quality there. You just kind of have to get to it through, like, this sort of a more, like, slower paced drama and intrigue. And I think, like, and to kind of ingratiate people quicker, you know, you have, like, that really fast paced beginning. So you get your action, you get your intrigue in all at once. That way people are hooked. You don't, and, you know, not to disparage any slow burning scene, but also, like, you know, to kind of maybe break some of the traditions of Gundam's past, because, like, this is a new series unaffiliated with the other continuity. So, like, it kind of frees it up from what's been done in the past.
Yeah.
So I'd say this is a strong recommendation. All right, we're going to take one more break, and we'll come back to our crowner anime for the season, and that would be Chainsaw Man. Welcome back, everybody. This is the final part of our anime review, and we have a big one to cap it all off with. We have one of the most anticipated debuting series of the season, and that's Shonen Jump's own Chainsaw Man. That's right. Our engines have been revving for months to finally get to this series, and I don't think it disappointed.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't
No,
fucking disappoint.
Wenzel and I and JoJo have been preaching about this series, been waiting for this fucking anime. Ever since it was announced, I'd be like, every single little tidbit info, I'd be like, hey, new info.
Yeah.
New info. I'd bring it up to Wenzel. And we finally got that info earlier this year, and it was busting. And we finally got our hands on it now, and let's say, busting.
Yep. Absolutely.
And this is in a season full of just like top shelf, top looking episodes. This looked incredible because like just like the settings and like the moody, more sort of contemplative moments of the show, the landscapes, it looks pristine.
Yeah.
And I love that we're in a point where just like almost every anime has like fucking like dust particles, and like now it's like every anime we know how to do dust, and we're gonna make it look stylish.
Like, fuck.
Now
Cinematic. That's what I was trying to say.
Very cinematic. And I will say a little bit of a primer, just in case you haven't heard about Chainsaw Man, because I think this is one of the series that it's been, I don't want to say dirty little secret, but definitely like one that's been slowly building groundswell over the last couple years. And like just from this week alone, like there's been a significant increase in chainsaw art, and from people I didn't expect, because I know people who I would think would be immediately turned off by the content of this series, but or strangely very enamored by it.
For real, I like there was like so many people who I was like they're reading Chainsaw Man. How are they gonna react to this? And they're just like, I fucking love Chainsaw Man, and they're just making art, or they're going straight to the fucking manga and reading it. I'm just like, holy shit.
I mean, like,
not to like be spoiler for the manga, but it's kind of just like the manga with the way people love Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
Which, like, you know, a lot of people, they're anime only for, you know, whatever reason, and like I think this is going to get a lot of people on even more so, because obviously manga is one level of accessibility, and then now we have anime to another like level of accessibility, and I think like it's whatever popularity it had, it's only going to increase. But to set the stage, Chainsaw Man is about a young man who lives in absolute desperate poverty, selling off pieces of himself, selling himself as cheap labor to pay off his deceased father's enormous financial debt to the Yakuza. And what makes this different is that he's using himself as a service to hunt down devils. In this world, devils exist, and they're these monstrous creatures that live in the real world, and he does so with his constant companion, the Chainsaw Devil, Pochita, which essentially, it looks like a little cartoon dog, but with a chainsaw blade coming out of his head, and the chainsaw handles on his body with the ripcord being his little doggy tail. And it's basically his very like pitiful hand-to-mouth life, trying to like scrounge a living and dreaming a hopeless dream that what he could live outside of this. And basically the dark and bloody spiral that his life becomes after this.
Yeah. Oh, where do we go? Like, it's
I mean, it's a very faithful adaptation. It's mostly chapter 1.
Yeah, and from what I've heard and read, it's gonna be like 3 to 4 chapters an episode from here on out. And there's this first core is like 12, 13 episodes, I think.
Okay, and then they're going to take a break.
Probably like a year break or 2. I don't know. Like, it's Mappa. They're working on 17 other series at the same time.
Yeah.
For real.
It's because like Mappa and Bones, they're putting like the anime industry on their backs. Like, you know what, we're gonna do all these big name shows. Which, like, I'm glad animation industry is doing well in other parts of the world.
yeah.
RIP Cartoon Network Studios.
Rest in peace. Which I do think it's funny that they put out a post on their Instagram where they're like, hey, we're not dead. Like, literally, like, we keep seeing our name pop up and we're not dead. We're still here. And it's just like, oh, fuck.
Like, RIP. But, you know, anime in the West is on shaky grounds right now. But I'm glad, you know, we have big names in Japan just, like, putting their blood, sweat, and tears into, like, just making some of the most impressive anime to date. And it's whatever strengths the original chapter had, which, you know, in abundance, and just for being just like a great series, awesome like visuals and art, and also like probably the most like divergent premiere for a shonen manga I can remember having. Because when I read the first chapter of Chainsaw Man, it's like, this is not Shonen Jump. This is drastically different, just from like the tone, the severity, and the gore and the violence. Like, this is far and away a very different breed of shonen.
Oh, yeah. Like, this goes up there with, like, you're looking at Chainsaw Man, I would say Demon Slayer to an extent, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Hell's Paradise. Top 4 right there. That's like, you're talking about like shonen horror, but also like not regular shonen. Because
like I would say this is, in terms of its subject matter and tone, probably closer to seinen than shonen.
Yeah.
Because seinen is, you know, shonen is for ostensibly for young boys, you know, from like 5 to 13 or however. Then seinen is for like older boys and to older men, basically. Like a very, you know, more mature and graphic subject matter.
And I don't think I'd let a kid see this.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this is literally next. This is like in the same pages as like Roboko, the little like maid comedy, and just like this felt so diametrically opposed to anything that was in Shonen Jump, and probably it ever, honestly, because this is so wildly different. And I'm excited to see how they adapt it, because one of the things that Chainsaw Man is known for, other than its content, is like its pacing is very fast, but it's not like, oh fuck, we just blew past something important. Like, there's a reason why there's like 4 or 5 chapters in the soon to be next episode, because like it flies by, but it's still a good pace.
Yeah, like Fujimoto, the mangaka, really good at it, and I mean, God, I imagine it's gonna follow it really well, because like this first episode, I don't know. I'm kind of just riffing right now. I don't know.
Because like I would say that there's a lot of quiet moments, and because like obviously you're adapting one chapter, so like you may feel like they're kind of stretching out these moments, but I feel like I never felt like I was bored or like it's sort of like spinning its wheels. Like, I just love being in the setting that they're making for the show.
Yeah,
they were trying to get you to feel the relationship between Pochita and Denji this episode. You could definitely feel it, because in the manga, I didn't really feel that sad. I was like, aw. But in the anime, I was like, oh, man.
Because they did a really good job with like the visuals and the music to like really kind of like get the mood of like, not like, you know, you might think like, oh, this is his pet. It's like, no, this is like his companion,
His
like
best friend.
His best friend, like, because it was just him, and like you said, poverty, like sold his right eye, sold one of his nuts, sold one of his kidneys to pay off this fucking debt. Like, I mean, goddamn, like it's fucking sad.
Like, he lives like this Spartan existence, like living just like it's like these this odd job life, working for like these yakuza. Basically told him the day his father died, you need to find a way to give us 700,000 yen, or else we'll kill you.
Yeah,
And like just like 10-year-old boy, just like, either you whatever, dude, you gotta whore yourself out, you kill, you do what you need to give us our money in 24 hours. And like he meets Pochita near his father's grave, like this the little cute little ball of blades and adorableness, like was like dying from a wound. So he said, okay, well, I know demons heal from drinking blood, so I'll give you my blood. But then he tells her, hey, listen, this blood that's come free. You take my blood, we're in it together, you're helping me out.
Yeah.
And then from then on, they've been constant companions, and he uses Pochita as a weapon to fight the devils. Like, he fights the tomato devil.
Yeah, cuts him up, and which, like, I remember reading that, and like the tomato devil is like such a simple design, but I was like, I'm gonna fucking love this manga because it's kind of, it looks fucking crazy, and I do love too how like you're taken so off guard by the name Chainsaw Man. It's like, oh, this is gonna be some wacky crazy thing, and it's like, no, it is not. I mean, it is wacky, it has its wacky moments, but like it's like with some of like Fujimoto's art and like their subject matter, it's like abstract and really just fucking.
There's some really like kind of like silly part, but there's some really like that's deranged looking. Like,
and
this is a horror manga.
This
horror
is
series.
yeah, like, and I just love seeing people's reactions of like oh shit, like this is scary, like, and they're like, oh god, Pochita, like it's just like, oh, I fucking love it. I'm so excited
because like kind of what the crescendo of the show is, like you see like them, wistfully dreaming of what could be, like even something that's been simple is just like, oh, I won't be able to eat a piece of bread with jam on it. Like that is like an impossibility for him. Just like how pitiful and meager their lives are, and the Yakuza that he's sort of essentially enslaved to. So hey, we got another job for you. Come kill this devil, and then it's a trick. Basically, they align themselves with the zombie devil. It's like, oh, we'll get power, but then like they're turned into zombies. So it's this torso, this rotted torso with a head in the middle, and then like these intestine tentacles coming out,
and the brain on the where the neck,
the stump of the neck.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So basically, the zombie devil takes over the Yakuza and just like team of zombies, and he gets stabbed through the back into Pochita from behind of his, and basically he's just teenage boy is just like brutally killed by these zombies.
Ripped to shreds.
No, it's insane. And I was like, how the fuck are they gonna do this? And it's just like, I mean, from the trailer and then watching this, I'm like, fuck, because like, I mean, they literally hold him down and they just stab him repeatedly until they finally cut him up, and then they throw him in the garbage can, and you see that, like,
you see his like
head,
dismembered body in the dump, and you see
Pochita dismembered too. Like, Jesus, dude,
it's like, it's pretty stark, and
it was really fucked up seeing the blade go through both of them. Pochita's little eyes rolled back into his head. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that was. I mean, granted, that's
it's so funny because when I'll see people will be like, they'll watch that and they'll be like, oh shit, he got stabbed, and they'll be like, oh no, Pochita got stabbed too, and I'm just like, yeah, motherfuckers, here we go.
Because you literally see Pochita like you puke up blood on the sword, and you're just like, it's like he's obviously like like just deranged, like, but still incredibly cute character, and then he's just like viscerally attacked.
And my god, yeah.
And so it's like there's like this moment where Denji's obviously dead, but his blood trickles down into the mouth of Pochita. But since Pochita's the devil, his like resistance and endurance is obviously, even though he's cut in half, he's still somewhat alive. And so there's like this moment of like their spirits being, it's like, hey, you saved me all those years ago, I'm going to save you. So basically Pochita sacrifices himself to revive Denji. So basically he fuses with Denji. So Denji's brought back to life. He's now part devil, but essentially Pochita had to like become his body. So,
he becomes his heart specifically.
So Denji looks normal now, since he has a ripcord coming out of the center of his chest.
Yep.
And it's like, what the hell? My best friend's gone. I just got killed. He just lets it all out, and he yanks that ripcord and he becomes Chainsaw Man.
Which I should say, to really sell the sadness of it, when he looks at the ripcord, it flashes back to Vegeta and it shows it zooms in on his little tail with the sad music. I'm like, you fuckers knew what you were doing. Like, damn.
You're twisting the knife here.
And yeah, he goes fucking ham. And like, what's interesting about this show is that, like, this part you can really see them use that CG animation, but I think for the most part, most of the show is CG, but like it's so heavily combined with like 2D that you don't even notice it.
Yeah, there's parts where it is very noticeable, but there's parts where I think that was CG. I can't tell because it looks good.
Yeah.
Because like there's definitely been an uptick in like CG anime. I mean, that's been that way for years, but like it's been with very mixed results most of the time. And why in this segment, Denji as Chainsaw Man is like the fully CG model. I feel like for CG anime, it's pretty solid.
No, it was really fucking good. That fight scene was awesome.
When he's just going ham and just like cutting up,
slicing them, man. No fucking.
I like
effort.
when the zombie devil is just throwing like zombies at him, and he's just like swing, 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 cut them
like
in half.
literally because he's off balance, he's just having to swing his arms just purely from like movement, just cutting them up, man. No deal, no big deal.
In case you don't know, Chainsaw Man, he has like a chainsaw for a head with a blade sticking out with that, like these highly like fanged mouth, long tongue, the sort of like the gills of the exhaust of the chainsaw is like his eyes underneath, and he has chainsaws on his arm, but they kind of like bifurcate the arm. So basically, in the middle of his hand, it's a chainsaw blade that comes up to the middle of his arm, on both arms.
And it's cool. It's cool.
And he just like annihilates these just like Dynasty Warriors level of carnage.
And then whenever he finally gets to kill the zombie devil, it's like such a brutal scene because the zombie devil, the voice actor was like screaming like in pain, and then the zombie devil was like eye was rolling in the back of his head because he's being cut in half.
So you just have like the
chainsaw sounds were so good.
And oh my god! And the thing is like that chainsaw sound is actually like it's kind of like a staple and important. You'll find out later.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
It's just like the catharsis of like him just jamming his chainsaws in the zombie, just like as he's like jiggling and like eyeballs like wiggling around and blood squirting out. Then like splits the bitch in half, just gooshy blood. He goes on and kills some more people, and then cuts away. You know, it's obviously some times pass. Some beautiful scenery, like the mountainside, and like the part with like the fucking like faucet dripping water in the sunlight. Man, was that pretty!
They fucking painted that. That was legit. That was so pretty for some fucking reason.
And then we see a very important character. A very complicated character show up, and this is Makima.
Yeah.
With her two men in black beside her, and then she sees the carnage in the warehouse that Denji has brought. She's like, well, she came here as part of the public safety
commission
to be like a publicly employed devil hunter, and she sees Denji in the middle of this, and she realizes because she's an incredibly perceptive person, and in the very she has certain abilities and certain awarenesses, and she realizes right away that Denji is no longer completely human, but he's not fully a devil either. He's a hybrid, and she's like, listen, she's like immediately assesses the situation. She hugs him, and like that was just one of Denji's simple wishes, to just like be hugged by a girl.
Yep.
And you'll find out more of his wishes later. Which on one hand it's rather endearing, on the other hand it's like
But
a little lecherous.
Yeah, but and the thing is, like, it's so simple.
who doesn't have that dream though? You'll find out.
You'll find out.
And so she gives them an option: either you can be killed as a devil by me right now, or you can come work for me
as a human. Yep.
And he's like, well, what does that imply? He's like, well, you get fed. And he's like, deal.
Yep. Immediately, like, what's for breakfast?
Yeah, he's like, before I answer, what are we gonna eat for breakfast?
What's for breakfast? And I'll tell you, bread with jam and butter, salad, coffee, and
It's
dessert.
like, say no more.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And we should probably talk about the intro, the opening.
That's such a like clever, interesting ending because not only is it beautiful anime, but also a lot of movie references.
It's all movie references, and it's just like what the like. And Fujimoto for the most part, like he has that, and like all of his stuff is movie references everywhere.
He loves movies. Well, never mind. I can't say that.
And like to be, I get it because we fucking love movies. So I'm like connoisseur.
But like classic references like Godfather, Reservoir Dogs, Big Lebowski, like
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction. Like there's a lot of like really like clear movie references in there, and like it's just a really cool intro. And you get your sort of sneak preview for the bigger cast to come
Towards the end of the opening, the
dancing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say his name.
I'm not gonna say his name, but I fucking love it.
Yeah.
He's just like, ah.
The future is awesome.
That's relevant. And plus, like don't want to give too much away for folks who haven't got there, but like seeing Makima show up and then like she has like those very unsettling eyes in the manga, but the way they display that in the anime, just like man, she seems even more uncanny.
Yeah,
Those
for
eyes
real.
will suck the soul out of you. 100%.
They're very intense, and I'm so excited
Because she has like these like very big like kind of like unblinking eyes, and they have like these like several concentric like
circles.
irises in them, and it's just like you're just like right away you're just like there's something up with her.
Yeah.
And then we'll see to what extent as the series goes on.
That's episode 1, though.
Any final thoughts, JoJo? You haven't really said much.
I mean, it's Chainsaw Man, vroom vroom. It's hard to talk about just like the first episode without getting into stuff that comes
Yeah,
later.
I have a bunch of like stuff I could shout out, but that's spoilers.
Because like, especially like for the opening, there's like so much shit they throw in there that's
a
just like
lot.
And some stuff I was kind of surprised. It was like, oh, we're showing that already.
And since they're in the opening, we're getting pretty far.
Like I'm just
Yeah,
like
at least halfway through part 1.
you fuckers don't even know.
Because I will say like I was like I mean obviously if you've never seen it, just like this is just like haha, this is just a because like most anime have like a somewhat spoilers in their open, like here's a bunch of people you won't meet them till later, but like you'll know them soon enough. But just like because what Chainsaw Man becomes, it's just so crazy, and just to see the little hints of what will come, it's just like wow, y'all are in for a ride.
Nobody's ready. And if you think Chainsaw Man's mid, your ass is mid.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, this now currently, Chainsaw Man Episode 1 is the most viewed and most liked video on Crunchyroll.com, which is insane because it aired, it's like one day after it became the most liked, most viewed.
God damn. Hell yeah.
It's fucking batshit. Crunchyroll's been around for like 15 years or so.
And this shattered their records.
That's crazy.
I mean, I just want to know what sort of pop cultural like phenomenon this is going to become.
Oh yeah, like Hot Topic, all these like famous shirts, all these loot boxes and shit. You're gonna see Chainsaw Man everywhere. Just prepare, and just know that I was cool. Me, Wenzel, and JoJo were some of the cool originals.
Yeah,
Pat's to an extent.
I'm the one to introduce it to y'all. Although I love the bit, and I still haven't finished it.
Everybody else is ready to finish it, and Pat's the only one, and Pat's the one that started. Literally, to me, Colt, Tanner, Cody, JoJo.
And you know what? That's a great bit.
It is.
But I know we say it several times. Like this is the best season. This like. I don't know what could top this in the future. This is an incredible season, and we haven't got to all the other really good shows.
I can get a guess. Chainsaw Man Season 2, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, My Hero Season 7, fucking Studio Trigger or something.
So yeah,
It's just a copy of this.
it's just season 2 of everything we talked about.
Which from Mercury. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like us, obviously, this is a stellar season. There is so much more out there that you can check out. And we want to hear from you. What were your favorite things? Because like you heard a lot of us. I mean, I almost don't even want to do what's your favorite because like it doesn't seem fair.
No.
It's hard, but I can give it a go.
All right, if you feel like you have like a trio of your favorites. This of what we talked about.
I'm gonna go with top 3. This is gonna sound crazy. It's gonna sound fucking bat shit.
All right, put your dookie on the table and let's hear it.
Number
3.
3. Probably gonna go to Bleach. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with Bleach. Number 2. It's gotta be Chainsaw Man.
Okay.
And the number 1's gonna be Witch from Mercury, because
Oh, okay.
Witch from Mercury, it got me. It got me good,
Oh.
and it's shaking me around. I'm putting a sock, and I'm currently being slammed against the wall.
God damn it! Why is that like the 3rd time you've referenced that? I don't know. Because we're playing Overwatch. I'm playing a hamster, Hammond, and he mentioned like that. Like one of the characters killing me is like putting me in a sock and slamming me against the wall.
I mean, I that is funny, but I was kind of feeling that because like Chainsaw Man, obviously Juggernaut, we love it, killer. But I feel like that fucking preview episode of Witch from Mercury is so goddamn good. Like I feel like I feel like it. There's something about it that just hits different from other. I mean, like obviously we love anime, blah blah blah, but like I feel like there's just a different level of like business happening on that preview. That preview fucking kicked my ass.
I think I can do my top ones, but keep in mind all of these are a huge recommend from me. All of them.
Literally
one.
every single
Even
one.
Bleach.
I'm going to keep up with all of these.
I think for me, my number 3 would be Cyberpunk.
I didn't include Cyberpunk because I already finished it, and I feel like
Yeah.
that didn't be fair. Wouldn't be fair.
Yeah. My number 2. I mean, it's got to be My Hero because of Mirko. But like number 1, Chainsaw Man. Like I know I finished it, but the show is so fucking good already.
All right, Joe, do you think you have any top orientations?
I mean, top for me is Chainsaw Man. And, honestly, the others can kind of be interchangeable.
It's just a 6-way tie for second.
Basically.
Yep.
You're not first or last.
This is hard. Like I know I only got to see like 4 of the series, but like it might be Cyberpunk. Fuck. Chainsaw and Mercury are like so goddamn close. I mean, I don't know if I can really place it, but like those are my 3. And like Bleach is rocking. I feel like I'm going back into a bad relationship, but goddamn it, that sex is so good.
Yeah, it's gonna fuck you good. There's some good fights in Thousand Year Blood.
I thought you were about to
It's
say there's some good.
As somebody that recently read Bleach, I will agree with Pat. The ending, it was really rushed. There was a lot of stuff that I wish would have been shown, but like the first 2/3 of Thousand Year Blood War, fucking your brains out.
There's some
coming.
good fucking.
You're shooting like
Bleach.
3 times every time you have sex. You're busting.
Ropes, just ropes.
But some good stuff. Some stuff.
This will definitely be like the fic for Bleach's finale. I would hope because like they have all the time and resources to flesh out what they couldn't do fucking 6 years ago. Goddamn, it still fucking blows my goddamn mind that Bleach ended the anime 10 years ago. 10,
Yeah.
10. I was 22. That fucking makes me want to shit my pants.
I saw where somebody commented on the Backlog Boys talking about Mario Brothers. They're like, you said it was from the 80s and like that was forever ago, and the person was just like, they like died inside.
That
or
was
they, like,
that was
cringed.
that.
I think-
was Wilkman.
Yeah, I was like,
Shout out Wilkman.
it's from the 80s, right?
Yeah, it's old.
Yeah, it's dinosaur times.
Yeah.
Oh god. Hell, kick-ass season. You're gonna be well served whatever you pick from the fall anime lineup. I say go with God. You're gonna wherever you land, you're gonna find something kick-ass to watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it for us this edition. Be sure to like, rate, review, subscribe wherever you find your podcast. We're there. SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and all those places. Be sure to follow us, like us, subscribe us. 5 stars helps us out, keeps us visible, keeps us putting new people. We always appreciate you when you do it. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, AYCH Podcast, and all you can hear on Letterboxd. But we want to let you know, in case you haven't already heard, you're going to hear about it a lot more, trust me. We have a brand new feed, AYCH Xtra. where we have even more content, more directed, dedicated content over there. Yeah, that's also on all streaming platforms now: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, any of your flavors that's on there. We have shows ready to go, locked and loaded for you. We have Cinema Grimoire, myself, JoJo, and Ash talking about classic Gothic movies from the 90s, 80s, and beyond. We also have the Backlog Boys,
Where
starring Colton Winslow here.
Colt Winslow and Tanner going gamer mode.
Yeah, we finally did it, and we're smacking some games upside the head.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll have even more stuff coming out as the days go by, so keep an eye out for that. Just have even more of all you can hear, and that's just going to be a blessing for everybody because, like, you know what? No one does it like us because no one fucking dares to try. And lastly, you can follow me, Patrick, on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. John lost his name.
My name's Colt. Follow me on Twitter at ColtD00. Tune in at the end of this month. Backlog Boys attacks an old man. Last of Us.
Can you plug the Twitter and stuff for them?
Oh, yeah. Backlog Boys Pod on Twitter with a Z. Backlog Boys. Not Boise. Boise.
Boys.
I was actually trying to set up Colt, but he actually got it. Damn. Good job.
And SoundCloud,
Yeah.
extra. Pat just said it. You got it.
Yeah, the first official episode of the Backlog Boys will be out October 26th.
Yeah, we have episode 0 out right now. Oh, god damn it. Okay, so it was funny because I sent Tanner a bunch of names for that episode 0. I sent him a lot, and he was like, I'm going to pick one.
I think it's the Gamers Strike Back.
Oh, no.
It's like a new episode 0, A New Hope, The Return of the Gamers. Something like that.
A new
Hold on.
save.
Hold on.
Yeah.
A New Hope, Return of the Gamers.
That's right.
There you go. Thank you. I'm Winslow. You can follow me on Twitter at WinslowWiki. You can follow my art Instagram at World of Winsy. Go to my Bookstagram where I have Winslow Banters and I talk about books. Go to my store where I sell prints and stickers, worldofwinsy.bigcartel.com. I also have a link tree in all my bios where you can go to those for all of that stuff. Also for my Ko-fi, for my Letterboxd, for my Goodreads. Thank you so much, and go check out Backlog Boys and go watch some anime. And if you give us anything lower than 5 stars, the boys up top will have to cut off some of our leg hair.
And you know what? I've been growing mine out for years. I can't afford to lose that.
Yeah.
The
Right?
Mario movie came out in 93. Oops.
That's why Wilkman died inside. But that's still fucking.
I wasn't even born.
That's the 80s. That's old time dinosaur.
Wait,
times.
was I the only one that was born when that movie came out?
Yep.
Yep.
Fuck. All right, JoJo.
My name is Joe. You can follow me on Twitter at JONIOBI24 and Johnson12 on Letterboxd.
All right, good night, everybody.
Give your chainsaw dog a kiss.
Nice.